Right, welcome to Friday.
This is
No
gonna be
kidding.
weird, man.
What?
We we have we have like we have like a delay.
We have a delay.
No. It's hold on. Here's how it is. Actually,
Is
there's
it
no
because of your
delay. It's
headphones?
there's no delay. It's like what I did was because on my setup, I'm using my phone because it's a better cam. So I'm using my phone cam, and then I attached this little mic thing that I bought for the phone. But and it's supposed to have like an earphone or headphone jack, but maybe it's lack of compatibility with StreamYard. So the mic works great, but if I put in like the headphone through that jack, it doesn't like there. Like I still won't be able to hear you. Like it's not, yeah, I'm gonna hear you through the speaker of my phone. So I monitored our show last time, and it had kind of like an echo effect, and it sounded weird. Kind of like an echo effect because the audio was coming out of the speakers of the phone, so the mic that it's attached to is also picking it up. So what I did was I'm gonna monitor the audio through my laptop. So, but there's a delay in the broadcast, right? Because when I saw the actual show start on Streamyard, like on this, and I was watching the actual broadcast on our Facebook page, that was a long delay. That was like almost like a 3 second delay. So so like something's already done, like 3 seconds, and then that's when it starts happening on the actual broadcast. So I don't know if that's an internet thing or that's just how streaming is. There's always it's kind of like latency. But anyways, it's not gonna matter because I mean, the audio thing that it picks up, like the echoey thing, is not really that bad. So what's up, man? Did you play basketball?
I did. It's a Friday, so yeah, that's my regular schedule. Wednesday, Friday, uh, Saturday. No basketball tomorrow though, but yeah, that's my usual basketball schedule. Mondays snows basketball, so yeah, it's full of basketball. The week's full of basketball.
Do you play with the same guys, like same group of guys all the time?
No, Wednesday is a different group. Friday's a different group. Saturday's a different group. So yeah, it's kind of jumbled up. So you
Mostly
have to like
Pinoys? Are
adjust
they
the
all
game.
Pinoys or some Japanese
No, they're
guys?
all Japanese. No, they're all Japanese. I don't play with Pinoys. Like after what happened to me, I don't play with Pinoys anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, it's all over the news. Sympathizing with the Japanese people
Right,
from
that
the
happened.
loss of
That
their
happened.
former prime minister. Terrible, terrible
That's
news.
a big shock for everybody because if you've seen the interviews, like nobody's expecting it. Like nobody expected it. It never happened here, and the teachers
I
were
know, I
talking
know.
about it. The teacher was talking about it. Not my teachers though. My wife's teachers. She was in school, and I was the one who told her. And they ended up talking about it, and they said that, well, yeah, that never happened. Like that never happens here. And they said the last time it happened, especially about politics, it was like 100 years ago. This was like about
Jeez.
like this about 100 years ago, when the samurais were still like around or something. So this
Yeah,
never happens here, and it's kind of weird.
that's
And that
crazy,
was a
man.
homemade shotgun, a homemade
I
shotgun.
know. It was like
So
modified because you have a very strict gun laws there, and
yeah,
as far as
nobody
I
can
know,
have a
like
gun
the only
here.
ones who are permitted to carry firearms are those who are in the law enforcement field.
And I think
Um,
coming from the news, I think that guy. has like law enforcement background. So I think
Oh,
he was with
okay.
the self defense force. So that's why he knows how to make a gun. That's the initial report, right? So, I mean, nobody knows. Like, I don't know anything yet, but I've read that he was a part of the self defense force back then. It could have been dismissed or whatever, but he had that background. So, from right off the bat, everybody was suspecting that he was from law enforcement because no way you can get a gun from anywhere. Like the gun laws here are really strict. I mean, our gun laws are already strict, right? Like we already have strict gun laws, but still we could buy. But here, like, there's no way for you to get it. Like there's just like so many tests to go through, psychological test, and bunch of other tests before you can actually get a gun. So it's
That's
like it's not worth
crazy.
the hassle of getting a gun because of the
Yeah,
tests.
yeah,
The tests that you
yeah,
have to go through, you'd be like, no, I don't think it's worth it. I'm not gonna get a gun. That's
yeah.
why if you see stuff happening here in Japan, it's mostly stabbing. Like those. I don't know. Like I think in the '80s there was this sort of like a poison gas that was released at like at the train station, but no guns. And he died right
I
in
know,
the
I
accident.
know. That's,
So he
dude,
eventually
that's
died.
terrible.
So it's crazy.
That's
But
terrible.
yeah,
Oh well.
it's what's
So who's your
happening in the
current
world.
who's your current prime minister now?
I think it's Kishida. I think it's Kishida, Prime Minister Kishida. I think that's. Yeah. I think he was in. I think he was in Yamanashi somewhere. He was campaigning too. When that happened, all the high-ranking officials were brought back to Tokyo for security reasons. I think that's what happened. And I thought that wasn't like a serious. I thought that wasn't serious. Like I thought, he was shot, but like what happened to Reagan?
Yeah, I thought
Like
that
he got
too.
shot,
I thought he would. I
but
thought he would pull through it.
apparently it's serious. Like, well, he died, so it's crazy.
Yeah, I thought he would pull through it. But yeah. Well, all right. So what are we gonna talk about tonight?
How I Met Your Mother versus Friends.
Okay, so we're hoping that
Right.
Pinky would show up. I think unless Pinky expected us to do the show yesterday. Um, and hold on, was it yesterday? Yes, the show was supposed to be yesterday, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Show was supposed to be yesterday. All right, so
And I sent her a message, and she just reacted. But she knows that it's happening today. Here in Australia, no one is allowed to have a gun. Full stop, unless you are in law enforcement and military. It's the same here. Like you can have a gun, but not not the kind of guns that we're talking about. Like here in Japan, we're talking about like a rifle for hunting. That's what we're talking about here. To have that hunting
yeah,
rifle
not
gun.
submachine guns, you know.
No, not submachine guns, not a handgun, nothing. It's just for hunting ducks and shit. That's what we're talking about here. You can't have a 45, you can't have a 9 millimeter, you can't have those guns here. The only gun that you can have here are for hunting. And that's so difficult to get. So it's most likely same with Australia. Like you can't have a gun. Like you can't have handguns, you can't have automatic guns, semi-automatic guns. You can't have those. I'm talking about like hunting guns. And yeah, so maybe that's why the guy made a paltik. So in Philippine version, what the guy used to shoot Prime Minister Abe was a paltik.
It's like a
That was
sumpak.
a paltik, a
It's like a
sumpak,
sumpak.
right?
Yeah, like the thing where it's like So besides the fact that he could conceal that better, I guess he really that was designed. That was created to kill. That was improvised to kill, and it did its job, unfortunately. But it's that thing.
Oh
We
yeah,
don't hear
he's
very
sixty
many.
seven, and his health was already failing. That's why he resigned as prime minister. He
Oh,
was the longest serving prime minister of Japan, and he quit like last what like 2 years ago. Was it like 2 years ago?
mm-hmm.
Or was it last year?
2020, I think.
He, right. So he quit because of for health reasons. That's why he quit. But he was still I think active within the party, and I think is still helping his party. He's from the conservative party, right? So I'm not really privy into their politics here, like how different the conservatives are from the liberals, but like he's from the conservative party, and right. So, um, well, not really. I mean, I mean, he's got his, his own controversies. Regarding, I mean, there was some corruption, kind of like connected with his wife or something, but I'm not sure. I mean, well, depends. He can be. I mean, if you call that controversy, I mean, I guess he's controversial, but I mean, not not to our standards, I guess. Not to not to the Philippine
Yeah,
standards. You know what I'm
controversial
saying?
like by Japan standards. And Japan is,
Right.
is
Yeah.
all about no controversy. They're all about like they're trying to avoid any attention or any noise whatsoever. I mean, that's just
So
it. I totally get that
not
country.
direct directly, not directly him, but it has, like, some connections with the wife, I guess. That, that's as far as I know. But yeah, because here I mean, a bit of, like, corruption controversy. I mean, you're out. Like, there was this one person who was like putting her face on like the fans, and like she quit her job because it was like, it was like his face was slapped on like the fans, and it was like distributed, and like the opposition got wind of it, and it became an issue, and she resigned from her position because you're not supposed to do that. You, like, I don't know why we can do that. Like, anything that like, you don't see politician faces on, like, anywhere except for, like, their posters for the campaign. You can't find it on, like, if they made something, if something's being built, you cannot like take credit for it. You can't, because that's taxpayers' money. So it beats me why we have that in the Philippines. Because here, no, you can't do that. If it's a project, it's a project. It's a government project. It's nobody's project. It's not. It's I mean, that's not your money being used there to make these roads or these bridges or whatever. So you cannot take credit for that, even if you took the initiative in doing that. I mean, you're supposed to do it. That's your job.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing here. But yeah.
Yeah, and you're compensated for it. I mean, you receive a salary. It's not like
Yeah.
pro bono or you're doing it
Right.
as like a
You
charitable
can't
work
brag about it.
where you can be given credit for that because of the the nature of your generosity of contributing to
All right. Okay.
society or
In
anyways.
terms of this one, a lot of Japanese didn't like it when he was making a move for that. Nobody likes it here. Like, it's, like, public opinion. Japan doesn't want to be involved in anything. They just want to have a self defense force. They don't want to have an army, and that's what Japan wants. Like, everybody wants it. Like, hands down. Like, what do you call this? Conservatives and liberal alike. They don't want to be involved in any, like, war or anything. That's why they just want to have a self defense force, not an army. We don't have an army. We have a self defense force. We don't have a Japanese army because nobody wants that.
Okay, so the self defense force, that's like the National Guard in the states. Is that what that is?
I guess it's just like
Like
for self defense. You
like
cannot.
yeah, I mean like home defense. Like for example, like the National Guard. If there's like trouble in the country, like within the country, like if it's a domestic disturbance, like it's out of control and stuff, then it's a National Guard. But if it's like involving another country or conflict with another territory or something, then that's when the army comes in. It's sort of like that.
It
So
could be like that. It could be
because like if you say self defense, it could mean like defending yourself from invaders
from foreign
or
invasion, but we cannot.
defense within the country only. Like
Right?
if
Yeah.
there are some
That's why
Japanese
if you
troublemakers or
notice,
something, then probably
the
right.
only people that we can send outside, if they're just like medics. They're the only personnel that we can send to, we cannot send armies. We cannot send people to fight. We can send people to help with medical stuff. So we can send medics, but no, like, no
So
armies. Not
you can definitely see how how the war World War II impacted Japan, and then they saw that really there was no validity to them getting involved in that,
No,
and it's
yes,
just
nobody wants war here.
so
They've
it's like,
seen the horrors of war.
yeah,
Like they've
they've
seen
seen,
what
they've
happened to
experienced it,
Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That's crazy. They don't
they
want to be
learn from
involved
that
in anything
mistake,
like that.
and
Yes,
they're done with it. Like, okay,
they're
let's just be,
pacifists. Like no,
yeah, that's like to the point where they're like, yeah, they're pacifist. So, all right, now I don't think we're gonna have pacifists tonight. I think they're gonna have flying fist. It's gonna be between two of the most popular.
whoa,
What is it? What is the
whoa, what happened? What happened? All right, okay,
what is
you got cut.
yeah? What is
Could have
the
your
category for it?
connection.
Just what is it? Like comedy sitcom? It's a sitcom, right? Basically, it's a sitcom,
It's a
but
sitcom.
it's kind of like a I don't know how you refer to it. It's not a family sitcom like the Cosby Show or Family Ties,
It's
and
not.
it's not
It's sort of like
necessarily
it's about friends. It's
yeah.
about friends. I mean, the
Can you
story
cite
runs
other
around
shows? I
everyone.
think there was a show called A
Well,
Different World back in the day. This is way before Friends, and this was a spin off of the Cosby Show. So one of the daughters, I think it was the eldest daughter, not Lisa Bonet. Lisa was like the second daughter, the second child. The eldest, who we rarely saw in the if you were watching Cosby Show, that was like the biggest show in the states when I was there. So I was watching that a lot. And she moved out. She moved out of the house. She moved into a dorm or something, and then she was attending the university, and they called it A Different World. So it featured her college life, so to speak, like a spin-off. So I think that's sort of like how Friends is, and how I Met Your Mother is basically circles around just a group of semi young people dealing with their jobs, some dealing with school and romance and whatnot. So I'm trying to recall if there are other shows, but movies, yes. St. Elmo's Fire. It's basically like Friends, the movie. They all have except it's drama and not comedy. And right off the top, can you think of any off the top of your head other shows, sitcom or movies that just revolve around Friends? Or did
okay.
Friends revolutionize that? Was Friends the pioneer of that actual type of genre in sitcoms? Because A Different World was different. It was like it was in school, so it wasn't really like just
No,
friends. There were
I think
teachers
it was
or
friends who like
right.
who had that first. How I Met Your Mother was sort of like yeah,
Oh, they
it's
had
being
Saved by
compared to
the
Friends
Bell,
because of
which was like a high
but
school
yeah,
thing, but that's
but
like a
it's still
kiddie
high
thing.
school.
It's not.
Yeah, so it's not. So it's
Yeah, it was
basically
like an
friends were
afternoon
like they were
show.
already professionals. They were
Yeah, it
not in
wasn't a
college. They
primetime
just
show.
they were like that was after college. They were in the city looking for jobs and shit like that. So it's basically like young professionals. Like they were like yuppies. That's how the story was, like um presented to the audience. Whereas like How I Met Your Mother was they were like probably in their like late 20s and because um what's his name? Not Barney. What's his name? Ted. Ted was like looking for a
Mosby, Ted
fiance.
Mosby.
Ted Mosby was looking for somebody to, um, you know, I mean, he's a hopeless romantic. He's looking for somebody to marry, and he's just like a hopeless romantic in search
You
for,
know that it was Bob
like
Saget who did the
friendship.
voiceover, right?
Was it Bob Saget?
That
Holy
was Bob
shit,
Saget.
he's
It
dead.
was Bob Saget
Oh
who
man.
was doing the narration, like to the kids and stuff. That was the
Oh
late Bob Saget
man.
of Full House
Oh
fame.
man.
Yeah, so not a
Oh,
lot of people knew
terrible.
that. Also, I'm trying to recall who it was who did the voice for Gossip Girl because my wife was obsessed with Gossip Girl. There's also like another actress, and she was the one who apparently did the, but not very many people knew it. So all right, so Friends versus How I Met Your Mother. Now, it, I'm actually surprised that those two shows became very very successful here in the Philippines. I mean, obviously there are a lot of themes there that's probably not relatable unless you live in the States, you grew up in like American culture or whatever. And just basically how things were done. And I think what it did, especially Friends, was that it modernized the perspective of the would-be yuppies of the Philippines. And
Right.
it was, I think it was kind of perfect too, because that was
Go
like the
on.
dawn of like the kids finally, breaking out of the mold of the parents' control. I mean, the Philippines has always been kind of a traditional country, and the family unit and everything, and the kids the kids usually they don't really like move out or go very far from home. I mean, a lot of the young adults here in the Philippines, well, back in the day, once they graduate from school and get a job, they remain at home because obviously the cost of living on your own, it's pretty high, and most of the Filipino fresh graduates, they wouldn't have enough money to pay for the rent yet, and it's kind of like pointless because it's not like you're living in another state. You're probably just in the same city anyway, so might as well live with your parents. And of course, the parents here in the Philippines, the Filipino parents, they would prefer their children to still be living with them, or at least within reach. Despite the fact that maybe they're already in their 30s or something, there's no difference. Filipino parents will always have a room for their children. Whereas in the States, you all get sick of each other real quick. And the American parents usually train their children at a young age to be independent so that they can be out of the house by the time they're 18 or above, or they're capable of earning money and living on their own. Mainly because everyone there is opinionated, and there's going to be conflict within the household, and the parents no longer want to support their children financially after after sending them to school and going through their responsibilities as parents. Whereas in the Philippines, it never ends. Your mom will always be your mom. She'll never let you go
Right, but do
hungry.
you
She,
but
she
did you
won't kick
watch
you out of the
these
house.
shows?
What?
Did you watch these shows?
Yeah, I did. I mean, not religiously, like Pinky and whoever else. Like in spurts, sporadically, I would. I did. There
So
was
I
a
never
time when
watched Friends because I don't think I really liked it. So I never watched Friends, but I watch How I Met Your Mother, and I except for the last two seasons,
oh,
right?
I didn't
I
consume
got
that
tired of
much of
it,
How I
but
Met Your
no, I
Mother.
got tired because it was just so. No, because it was an internet thing. It was an internet thing, and I already finished. I think season six, and it was I think with the umbrella. I think that was the. I think that was like season seven. I think
Hmm.
the second to the last season. So
The
that's where I
umbrella, they were
stopped.
sharing the umbrella
Yeah, but
with the would be mom, right?
yeah, that's the yellow umbrella, right? But I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
did enjoy it right up to that, and I think somebody told me that the ending wasn't really nice, but
She died,
I
right?
was just like laughing the whole time.
Yeah, I mean,
Like who died? Somebody
with
died
me,
there.
the mom.
The mom died.
Yes, at the end,
Oh, that's a spoiler for me.
she died,
Damn
dude.
it.
So, I mean, I don't know. When I first saw like earlier episodes of How I Met Your Mother, like the first time I was exposed to it, I really didn't get what was going on. I thought it was like Ted Mosby. It was I thought the mom was gonna be, what's her name? The Canadian chick. What's her name? The pretty chick.
Um,
Oh, jeez. I had a crush on
um,
her for a while,
what's her
and
name? What's her name?
she kind of she kind of reminds me
Colby.
like she. What's her
Colby.
name?
Well, I mean her real name,
Yeah, Kobe
Robin. Yeah.
Smulders. Yeah, she she kind of looks like the older version or the adult version of 11 on Stranger Things.
Hmm.
If you know who I'm referring to. What's her name? The cute actress, cute young Billy Bobby Brown. Yeah, that girl, Billy Bobby Brown, whatever her name is. She kind of looks like the adult version of, at least in my eyes. But anyways, yeah. So I was kind of confused. I thought it was like, it didn't really seem like, because these shows didn't really seem like there was like a flow that was continuous per episode, and it wasn't necessarily in chronological order. Especially How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother was kind of like, it'll show you scenes in the future, it'll show you scenes in the past, it'll show a scene of the two kids, like communicating with their dad. So it's all over the place. But I kind of got the premise, and I think with How I Met Your Mother, it was kind of like more. It was more focused on the character of Ted Mosby. So it was clear cut that, yeah, it was about Ted Mosby and his group of friends and how they fall into the whole storyline. Whereas with Friends, we know who the main stars are in a sense, I guess, because they probably get the most exposure. They probably got the highest salary. I would, Jennifer Aniston, obviously, and whoever else. But it's it was kind of like, in terms of story, I prefer the story pace of How I Met Your Mother, because it seemed more like a narrative. Like there was a narrative to it. There was a storyline going on. It was flowing. Whereas with Friends, it was just like sit down and like drop some lines and try to be funny. It was like, I felt like they were all playing stupid like the whole time. Like because I mean they didn't, they would play stupid, and they were actually pretty good at it, especially the character of Joey, what that actor name is, but it's and Phoebe, but it's like it's almost to the point where they're not that stupid, but they all kind of like they play that character, so it's
Hmm.
sort of like an insult to your intelligence in a sense. But in a way, when you watch it, you kind of feel like, okay, I belong, because you're watching Friends. I mean, everyone else was watching Home Along Dariles and Okie Doke, and you were watching Friends. So that kind of leveled you up a bit, because you supposedly understand that level of humor. But when you watch Friends now, like I watch Friends now, and comparing to watching it back then, where there weren't very many intelligent shows to compare it with, back then it was ahead of its time. It seemed like an elite show in a way, because of the humor and like how they were in their lives. And but when you watch it now, knowing how David Schwimmer is, knowing how Jennifer Aniston, how deep of an actress Jennifer Aniston is, and so on and so forth, you see them act. You're like, they were the highest paid actors on TV at the time, and they really just like they were all just playing stupid. I mean, it's not that it was bad acting, but that's kind of like the role that they were supposed to play. Like they're sophisticated, but they're like stupid. That's the bottom line. Like arranging a table or something, and they'd
Yeah,
be like,
because here's the
really,
thing,
right?
like
It's kind of like stupid humor.
them as friends, like okay, the sitcom is, like the Friends sitcom, and them being friends, I just didn't find it funny. But I like Jennifer Aniston a lot. I think she's
Yes,
funny. Like I
yes.
like her
I
movies,
like she was
right?
charming. She was charming
Right?
because
Like even in
Jennifer.
special with her and Adam Sandler, they have really good chemistry. I like her,
Yes,
and even with
her
Along
and Bruce
Polly,
Almighty.
she's
I
really,
liked her in
yeah,
Bruce
right.
Almighty, and she wasn't even trying to be funny in Bruce Almighty, and I love her in the Morning Show, which is a show on Apple TV, and she's amazing there. I mean, I think because Jennifer Aniston, she's always gonna have put her touch to it, like the breakup, right? She always
Mhm.
has. She's consistent. She's Jennifer Aniston that only she can play, like the whatever the role may be, whatever her role may be, she'll play it the way only she can play it, and it's like a trademark Jennifer Aniston, kind of quirky, kind of charming, kind of like, good girl but has a sense of humor kind of thing. But the rest of the cast, we didn't really know much about them. Like I didn't know any of that except for Jennifer Aniston. Or maybe not even Jennifer. Maybe Jennifer Aniston made her breakthrough on Friends, right? Where was she before
Mhm.
Friends? Where were all these actors and actresses before Friends? I only
Oh yeah.
remember the only, what funny, the only actor or actress that I was familiar with when I first saw Friends, the only one that I was familiar with there was Courtney Cox. The reason why I knew Courtney Cox was because she was the girl in the music video of Bruce Springsteen. She was the girl that Bruce Springsteen took up on stage with him while he was singing "Dancing in the Dark." Dancing in the dark. If you've seen that music video, they used to show that on GMA. Bruce
Mhm.
Springsteen, it's like a live concert. He's on stage, and then he pulls up a girl wearing like a cut off sleeve shirt, and she starts dancing. And that's Courtney Cox, because I recognized her right away because she didn't age that much. And I'm like, that's the girl from the Bruce Springsteen music. But Jennifer Aniston, I don't recall from where. Was she a child actress? Where was she from? David
I don't know.
Schwimmer, where the heck is that guy from? I
Mhm.
mean, they were not exceptionally good looking. They were not, like they're not like Brad Pitt level, like leading man, whatever. And I don't know if they were exceptionally funny, but like I said, like that it was just like it seemed like they were just reading the lines, and it seemed like you were watching literally a show where they're just dropping lines, and it's supposed to be funny. But back in the day, we didn't notice it. Now we notice it, which shows like Entourage, which shows like when all the other shows came out that had more drama infused to it, that had more sense. That were the humor you kind of had to figure it out a bit. Friends was kind of like stupid humor. They were just like, "Huh, I didn't know that. Oh, I like my." It's like really like it didn't. I don't know, man. It wasn't. It's not. I don't think that's how people converse in real life. I mean, like little problems for them became like a big deal just to make it funny. You know, they would have arguments over like passing green peas on the table or something. And it's for me, it was really shallow humor. But back in the day when I was watching it, I thought it was like, whoa, this is like, yeah. I was in college when it came out. I was like, this is great. This is a yuppie show. And that if people thought that that's how Americans were when they lived in the same space during their young professional years, they don't really talk like that. I mean, that was for humor purposes. Whereas with How I Met Your Mother, there was a story. So they would be showing snippets of like, I remember it's kind of like Wonder Years, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of like Wonder Years.
Adult
So it was
version of it.
episodic. Like, yes.
Yeah, but it's more of
It's
like
like,
the
oh, there
father
was
was.
that night when I met this crazy woman. It's not like there's this crazy woman in
Mm.
the show and he dated this girl and that was the charm of that show, I think. If you form an opinion about the two shows, immediate opinion, most people would probably say, okay, I like Friends because it was the more intelligent sitcom. But really, if you watch it now,
Yeah. Okay.
like
Mm.
you realize that it's actually How I Met Your Mother.
All right.
That's
Okay.
where
Let's
our
let's.
vote goes, right?
All right. Okay. Let's read some messages. All right. The St. Patrick's Day episode was actually pivotal for the story of How I Met Your Mother. That's the first episode that Ted and Mom nearly connected. I know, right? See, these things, it catches you. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets you because all right, I think they're gonna meet, but then like it drags on for about like what a few more
How many
seasons,
seasons?
right? So holy crap! But I mean, it kind of gets you,
It
and
even gives you like it even teases you with different women that you
I
would be like
know.
assuming that that's the mom.
Like, oh, good, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
mom,
yeah, that's
right?
the
And you'd be
mom, right?
rooting
That's the
for like, I
mom,
hope
right?
that's the
Yeah,
mom.
yeah, yeah.
You'd be rooting like there's that blonde girl that I was rooting for. I hope that's her.
Yes, yes, I know what you're talking about.
I
She was
forgot her
great. She was
name,
great.
but right, I loved her.
She was in a movie with was it Matthew McConaughey? She starred in a movie. Was it Matthew McConaughey or Nicolas Cage? I know she starred in a movie. She was like the wife. Wasn't she the wife of a Nicolas Cage in Con Air?
No, not that.
No, no, I'm gonna check
Okay, let's check.
because I don't think that was Ashley Judd. Okay, Con Air. I think that was. I think that was her. Hold on, let me check. Monica Potter. Was that Monica Potter?
No, not her. There's another one that I like. I know she's
Okay,
there,
but she
but
was there, right?
she was there.
Okay.
Um, not Jennifer Morrison. Hang on. Hang on. Who was that? Not Rachel Bilson. Was it Becky Newton? No, not her.
It wasn't Rachel Bilson. I know who Rachel Bilson is. Hold on.
No, Becky Newton. Becky Newton.
Okay,
I like
let me
their
check.
character there.
Yeah, so we like yeah, you kind of like root for who you think the movie's gonna end up with. But okay, so okay, I mean, in fairness, you know what? Like I said, Friends is something I don't hate it. Friends is something that I can just leave on and I don't have to pay attention, and that's like I know what I'm gonna get. And I think that's kind of like what I like about Friends is that you don't really have to watch it. The only scene that I always have to check out if I'm watching Friends because Raj loves Friends, and it's always when they are at Central Perk, when they're at the coffee shop. That's where the best. That's for me. That's always the best part. It's the conversation that takes place there. Rachel, waiting tables, even though she comes from a well-off family, and it's just that's for me is where I think it's the high of every episode is usually at Central Perk when they're in their respective you know, apartment units. I don't know. Like there are some interactions between characters that the chemistry is not that great. What do you think has the best
Mm,
chemistry? I mean, I don't think people would say Rachel and David Schwimmer's character, right? Ross,
mm,
probably because Joey and Phoebe are just both stupid, and I don't think they even became an item. I think it's basically Ross
mm.
and because Chandler is just just, they're like more of the running adults, and Ross is kind of like this nice guy who's always
No, I
getting
just can't
the short
stand
end of
that
this.
show.
Oh, you really don't
There's the
like it?
thing.
Like you hate it?
I really don't like.
Oh man,
I
I don't
tried.
feel that strongly about it. I mean negatively towards it. I can watch it. I
Like,
can have it run and like I'll be doing something else and it's there. But with How I Met Your Mother, I will really sit through an episode. Like I will really pay attention and I really want to listen to how things are. And and I think that's the difference. Is that with How I Met Your Mother, it's really more story driven.
I hate the
With
fact
Friends,
that they
it's
like these like laugh effects. And that wasn't funny. What the heck? Why was there like
it
a laugh? Like,
and it's
what's
not
that?
because you
Wasn't
don't
funny.
get American humor, right? I mean, you're all about the
No,
American
it
humor.
just wasn't funny.
I know. See,
Dude, all right. Seinfeld. All right, okay. Somebody mentioned like, okay, the problem with Friends, especially now, is that there are things that are that would not hold up today, like lack of diversity in terms of casting and the portrayal of LGBT people. Here's the thing. All right, whatever, right? I mean, Seinfeld, it wasn't diverse. There were all white people. That was funny as hell.
they're
I
all
like that
Jewish.
show. It has nothing to do with like, like diversity. It just wasn't funny. That's how I felt about, I mean, towards Friends. Like, I just don't find it funny. I mean, my wife hates me for that, but I just don't find it funny. I just don't understand why people liked it. I mean, why do you like it? Because it's corny. I mean, if you like corny sitcoms, then I would say, all right, then you like corny sitcoms. But if you tell me like, oh, I like it because it's funny, I'm
I
like,
think,
what?
I think it appealed women more than men. I don't know very many men who were fans of Friends. Like that's all I can say. Like at least from my perspective, most of those that I know who are hardcore fans of Friends, those who buy Lego sets and stuff, they're usually women. And I think it's because they're kind of like they represent like a cool crowd. Like if you look at them, they're like, oh, like a cool bunch. And I think there probably came a time during the college years of some of the Filipino students when Friends was in its most popular time, when it was at its peak on TV. I think there were a lot of probably college students or young professionals who were emulating, how friends were. Like they would also hang out at a con because I mean it came out just at the right time when like I said the modernization of the young society where now it's coffee shops, now it's like dressing up, now it's like sitting around having like supposedly intelligent conversations. Like that's kind of like how Friends makes it appear to be. But when you really, like I said, when you really listen to the writing, it's kind of really stupid humor. It's very shallow. Like which is exactly I think why you don't find it funny. And I don't really laugh when I watch Friends either. And I'm not like it's not like I'm cracking up. Like oh my god, Ross got stuck in a freaking or Chandler got stuck in a freaking ATM booth or whatever with this girl. It's so funny, ha ha. It's not. Even the way they act it out, it's not even. They're not even brilliant actors or actresses in terms of comedy. They're just dropping their lines and trying to be cool about it. But the whole packaging of the show, from the start of the song by was it Rembrandt? I mean, from that
Mm,
cool hip song to like the fashion, they all
mm,
always have this hippie, like hip kind of preppy look to them, smart, casual, and they're all well dressed. They all, it's just kind of like the epitome of a cool crowd at that point in the life of a person. You want to be part of that cool crowd, and I think there were a lot of the smart kids or the intellectual kids in college here in the Philippines who didn't drink, we didn't hang out, we didn't listen to rock music, we didn't hang out at the beer houses, who could relate to that and would try to emulate, and pretended maybe that their group of friends was like friends. Oh, you're the Ross of the group, or I'm the Chandler of the group. And I think that's what the appeal is. Not necessarily because it was funny. I think it was just the packaging of the show. Um, Whereas with How I Met Your Mother, they didn't care too much about the coolness. I mean, Colby Smulders was drinking beer like crazy. Uh, Barney was a freaking ladies' man. Even the character of Ted
Because they're
Mosby,
just like different kinds
right?
of funny, right? Like, I mean, if you watch The Big Bang Theory, that show is funny. Like,
Yeah.
I get that. Like, I
Yes.
didn't follow it like religiously, but when I watch it, I laugh because
Yes.
it's funny, right?
Because those guys are
Um,
comedians. You look at the guys; they're funny already. They all look funny.
you
I
know,
mean,
right?
Raj and all these guys, they all look funny.
Brooklyn 99, B99. I mean,
That's
it's
funny.
funny,
That's
right?
funny.
But
Exactly.
it's just that
Exactly.
when I try to watch Friends, I'm just like, what is this show? Is this supposed to be funny or
No, it's
is this
just meant to
supposed
be
to be
cool.
corny?
It's just meant to be cool.
Right? Then why do they have the laugh effect? Ha ha ha! Like,
No, because because it's not drama, and they had to make sure that people get that it's supposed to be a comedy or a sitcom, but it's not really. None of them are comedians. I mean, none of them are comedians. None of them look funny. None of them look like comedian. The funniest guy there is the character of Joey, and Joey wasn't really a comedian when he was appearing on TV earlier. I mean, the character of Joey, the real person, as an actor, he wasn't really like doing comedies and stuff before he appeared on. But he was like the comedian of the group. Same with Phoebe.
I know,
But
like okay, Patrick saying something. Big Bang Theory is nerdy funny. If you get the
yes,
references, it is genuinely
it
funny.
is
I
generally
know that's
funny.
what I'm saying. I'm not even a nerd, and I'm not even
Yeah,
smart,
it's actually
but I get it. You know what I'm saying?
it's
Like,
actually
it's
more
just funny.
informative. It's actually more informative than funny for me. Like when they make Star Trek references or like certain
Mhm.
dates or like a certain element is this and that. It's actually really for me more informative than funny. But it's really funny that just how the chemistry of those guys. Um, One of those guys, what's his name? That actor was actually an Entourage. I mean, he made appearances in several seasons of Entourage. What's the name of that guy? The guy who was friends with the hot chick in the apartment unit. He was there's Raj. There's I only remember Raj because that's my son's name. But yeah. So it's like
Hang on.
it's funny because of the references, and it's funny because the guys look funny. It's a comedy. Okay, Three and a Half Men. I thought that was funny with Charlie Sheen. And Charlie Sheen has always kind of delved into comedy. He was in Hot Shots. He's been in a couple of other movies where it was kind of not too serious. He looks like a serious actor. He looks like a matinee idol. He looks like a leading man. But he looks like Tom Cruise with a sense of humor. And I think
Mhm.
he really shined in Three and a Half Men. And I'm not surprised why he was the highest paid actor on TV during the peak of Three and a Half Men, because really he didn't even like it was effortless. He was just the master of sarcasm. He would just say something and just the delivery and the writing was spot on, and that was funny. But Friends, no, I don't think people were watching that because it was funny, and I think that's why you hated it. I never watched it because I don't think I ever even laughed watching Friends. It just made you feel cool because it felt like you know you're a cool crowd. Whereas with How I Met Your Mother, they weren't really trying to package those guys as cool. They were packaging them as like, regular people. They drink,
Right.
they they look disheveled. Ted Mosby always has like this tie out of place. Whereas with Friends, they always like look good. They always look fresh. They always look in shape. Um, and like even when they're in a bad state or situation, they still look. I don't know. They still look good, and I think that's the trick. Okay, so what for you are the funniest shows on TV during that time? Besides Seinfeld. Oh, Seinfeld was like ahead. Remember? Man, this is really old. Um, what's the one with Perfect Strangers? Remember Perfect Strangers?
Yeah, I thought that was funny, but then I watched it again. It's not as funny as I
It's
thought
not as
it
funny. It's not
was.
as funny.
All right, 'cause I remember when I was
Mad
a kid,
About
I
You.
thought that was funny.
Mad About You.
Mad About You, I'm a big fan. I love Mad
Okay.
About You.
Mad About You.
I
Yeah, that was
love
around
Helen
the time
Hunt,
when Friends
Paul
also
Reiser.
was out.
I just can't believe that Paul Reiser's I mean, he's gained weight. He's in Michael Douglas's Netflix comedy series. Uh, what's the title? What's the title? The Kaminsky Method. He's there.
Oh, I don't think we have
He's
that here. I don't think we have that on the
he's
Netflix
Michael
here.
Douglas's daughter's fiance, and I didn't realize it was Paul Reiser. And
Is
when I
he
was
that
like
big?
reading the credits, it was like, holy crap, that's Paul Reiser. Holy shit! And he's still funny. You know,
It's still him.
his lines are
It's
still funny.
still
It's
it's
still
still the
funny.
trademark him. Like his
Right.
quirks,
I mean,
right?
his character's really different now because, like you said, an old man, like really deep voice, but he's still funny. He knows how to drop a line. He's still really funny. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, these shows. I mean, Frasier. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were funny. I just don't understand why, like, Friends was so popular. I just don't get it.
Okay, when your wifey watches Friends and you're there, and does she laugh out loud?
She doesn't. That's the thing. So I'm
See,
like,
it's
why are you
not funny.
watching it?
It's not funny. But she likes the show. So people like the show not
Then why are
necessarily
you
because it's
watching it?
funny.
Like, all right, okay. I watch the Golden Girls, right? It's funny. I laugh when I watch the Golden Girls,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
even if it's back in the '80s. Like the references are different, right? Like when they make jokes and stuff, it would be different,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
still laugh because
yeah,
it's funny. And we're talking about four old women here in their 50s,
yeah.
and I'm laughing. But if I watch Friends for some reason, my blood boils. I'm just like, I don't get this show. What the heck is
No,
wrong with?
because it, that's see that's the thing. It's like okay, one of my probably my all time favorite TV series, and it's not a sitcom, but it might as well be because it's kind of like more of a comedy than anything else. But it has drama, it has all that stuff. Literally, it has drama. It's a show that you introduced me to, and I know this show inside and out. I've seen every freaking episode. I've seen the movie several times. I actually kind of felt like I lived and traveled and goofed off with these guys. Entourage. Love that show. And I'm so glad that you introduced me to that show because I would have missed out on it because I didn't have HBO. I didn't have cable at the time. I don't know where that was showing. But it was also at the time when you could go to Victoria Plaza and buy like the whole like 8 seasons on like 2 or 4 Blu-rays or DVDs. DVD. Actually, it's called DVD. And you introduced me to
Right.
Entourage. Now, Entourage is like entertaining funny. It's not necessarily like laugh out loud funny. Like drama is hilarious, whenever he does his
Right. Right.
auditions and he gets a
Right.
hard on with Brooke Shields, but you're not cracking up like he's so fun. But it's like almost it's funny to a point where you're almost about to laugh, but you can contain yourself because the story flows and it's part of the whole storyline, and it's entertaining. And I think that's kind of like how women. I'm assuming women because, like I said, most of the people I know were like friends are women. I think it's kind of like how we view Entourage. It's kind of like how they view uh Friends. Like they
I think
feel
you're
like
better
there's
off watching the Golden Girls.
yeah, if you want funny, man, come on. If you want funny, just watch stand up. But like I said, you, what's up for me? Like I said, Three and a Half Men, they succeed at making it funny. I mean, the Charlie Sheen episodes. Oh, what's the Murphy Brown, right?
So what? Like that show was what meant to be cool
It was just
and
meant
not
to be
funny.
cool. It was just meant to be cool, and then and then they just kind of had to put it in a certain genre. And of course, they're not gonna make it drama because they kind of maybe cost cutting, and they wanted to put it in a studio, and they just wanted to put a lot of good looking people in a show, and just like because it's the easiest thing to do. It's in any element of like a scenario, the easiest thing to do. It's not easy to make people laugh. Obviously, it didn't work on you. It didn't work on me, but just to kind of that's why they needed to rely on their good looks. That's why they all. That was that's the reason why that show survived. Because if they were like regular looking actors or not, didn't have that charm or appeal or whatever, they didn't package it like that, as polished as they did with the casting. That show would have not lasted a season, man. They just like if its only merit was that it's funny, it wasn't funny. But it's just like it was packaged the right way. Even when you watch the intro, it's kind of like Beverly Hills 90210, but like a little bit more adult, and just focused on the humorous side of their everyday life. But even Beverly Hills 90210, why were we watching it? I was like addicted to that show. Every Friday I would watch that when I was in the States. And I tried to grow sideburns and shit. Because it's like you kind of feel
Yeah,
like
but that was like a TV drama. That wasn't like a comedy show, right? That wasn't a sitcom. That was a TV
I know,
drama.
I know, I
It was
know,
like
I
sort
know.
of
That's
like
why you have to
right.
stop. I know. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But it's like you can't compare Friends to like Roseanne. You know, Roseanne is like they have to be funny. Otherwise, you're just watching a lot of overweight people. And what the heck's going on here? They're like a redneck family. It's not really the most appealing, visually appealing thing to watch. But but Roseanne was funny. John Goodman was funny.
I haven't watched that.
Um,
I've heard a lot about that show, but I haven't watched that.
it's
But it got canceled, right? Like she got canceled, like
No,
Roseanne.
they bought it back and then boom, they canceled it right away because I think she did something or said something.
Yeah,
That
she
was
she she
right,
said
right.
something. She
Yeah,
said something
yeah.
stupid.
Like man, they brought it back and like after the first episode or something. But that's how
And then got
Roseanne's like
canceled.
notorious
Right.
for that. She's the type of woman who's like she'll say what's on her mind. She has no filter. Um, but like yeah, you
But
know
yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
know,
It's like
I know what I know what you're saying. Like I kind of get it. Like, all right,
people are not watching because
the
it was funny.
producers gather like a bunch of good-looking people, but I just like don't get it. That's my problem. I just don't get it. Why do people watch it? Why? Because you think they're cool and you want to be cool like that. I mean, come on, like really? I mean, if I look at them, I don't think they're that cool. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you type on Google, Friends is not funny, a billion freaking things show up. Like, Friends is not funny. It's a lot of mediocre jokes. Exactly what I was saying. It's a lot of mediocre jokes. But back then, we didn't care about the jokes. They just looked cool. See, it looks very forced. It's really not entertaining right there. It's horribly overrated. So a lot of people are saying that. Nothing wrong. Friends is not funny. I have heard a great deal about how it is the laugh track that somehow makes it funny. Exactly what you were saying. That laugh track, they needed that to kind of make you feel like that was the punchline, but it's really not funny. And I don't think the producers really intended for that show to be funny at all. I think they just like put a lot of good looking people, and it's just something that the kids back then or the yuppies back then were watching and had kind of wanted to belong. I mean, come on, man. During that time, not only was Jennifer Aniston the highest paid actress on TV, she was also like she was the she was setting the standard for fashion. Like whatever she was wearing, the girls were following fashion wise. Like she was on Us Weekly, she was on all these magazines. So it really wasn't about funny. None of them were funny. Like I said, none of the nobody there is a comedian. You take any of those actors or actresses and put them in a movie that's supposed to be funny. Jennifer Aniston would be the only one that would have, a bit of humor in her. No one else there. Oh, maybe okay. The character Phoebe from Romeo and Michelle. What's her name? That actress
Lisa
in
Kudrow.
Romeo. Yeah, she was funny. Lisa Kudrow's funny. Lisa Kudrow's funny. If she can be the wife of Billy Crystal, she can be funny. But a lot of people did not find Friends funny. So you're not alone, man. But I accepted that fact when I saw it because, like I said, I would ask myself, why am I watching Beverly Hills 90210? Like, I could care less about the stupid drama storyline. Like, I'm not into this stuff. But because of the fashion, because of like how they were cool and that, like, it, it gave you like a sense of coolness. Exactly like what Gimmick was and what DJIS was. None of those shows were good, but the kids were watching it because it was the cool click. And you know, so you can't compare it to like Seinfeld, man. Seinfeld, Jason Alexander looks funny. Um, he's that guy's a very good actor, by the way. Seinfeld looks like a regular dude who just keeps wearing Air Jordans. But they're funny, so they're not relying on their looks.
Jason Alexander, he is funny. He
He
was in
is. I
Shallow
love
Hal.
that guy. I
He's in
love him.
Shallow Hal. He
Dude, I
was
love
so
him in
funny in
Shallow
Shallow
Hal.
Hal.
I love him. He's always the asshole friend. In Pretty Woman, he was the asshole friend, right? He was the asshole lawyer friend of Richard tried to freaking rape what's her name? Julia Roberts. I mean, he's
Uh,
I love this. He's always
yeah,
just like this
he's
guy was
funny.
he's always high strung, was like, what do you see in her? Like when he saw Jack Black dancing with like he couldn't see Gwyneth Paltrow as like And
Right,
he was
right,
like,
right.
they were in the bar, and he was like watching. He was like, for real. And he was like, you're experimenting, huh? And he actually ended up that he had a tail. He freaking
Yeah,
had a
yeah, yeah, yeah. He had a tail. He had a tail.
I have to watch that again. See, that's funny. We're laughing when we're talking about it. But none of the Friends episodes, can you make a reference to a Friends episode where we'll laugh
No,
about it
dude.
now? No.
God knows I tried. I tried. I watched it.
Ask
I
your
tried to
wife.
laugh at it,
You should ask your
but
wife. She
I just
watches
like
it.
I don't know. Like sometimes she watches it, it gets to my nerves, man. I can't stop myself. I can't help myself from making a side comment because it's just like I mean, I feel like people are wasting their time watching it. And when my wife watches the Golden Girls, I don't care. Like, because I like it too. Like I laugh at it. And she watches Grace and Frankie. She watches that, and that's fine with me. But
What
the
about Will
moment she
and
watches,
Grace? Remember Will and Grace?
yeah, I didn't have a problem with Will and Grace. I think it was, it was pretty okay. Will and Grace, even Dharma and Greg was okay,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Dharma and Greg, Will and Grace,
okay.
Just Shoot Me.
When Friends came out, okay, when you started to have this like confusion about why is Friends popular and it's not funny, when did this start? Is this fairly recent, or was this from like the ABC2 airing days, like way back when we were still in college?
No, I
Or
think probably it's just recent when like the new bloods were trying to like try to check out what's the what's the fuzz behind Friends and whatnot, and then they realize what the heck, it's not even funny. So I'm with them in like in terms of like not getting why people watched it, why a lot of people went crazy about it, right?
yeah,
So I don't get
yeah,
it. Like Brooklyn 99, people like, oh yeah, because it's really damn funny. Like Seinfeld, it is like I didn't even know about Seinfeld not until I heard it from Chuck, and I
Frasier is
started
funny,
watching.
dude.
I know, well,
Frasier's
yeah, Frasier because
hilarious.
it's on TV. I watch it
Yeah,
on ABC. ABC, it was aired on ABC, right? But
yeah.
Seinfeld, I didn't know anything about it
No, no,
until
no.
Chuck
Yeah,
started watching
no,
it at the station, and I started watching it, and that was so funny. I was like, oh,
it's
this show
funny.
is really funny,
It's
right?
funny.
But then
You should read his
Friends.
books. His books are funny. Like they're laugh out loud funny. You'd be like in bed reading it. You'd be like, what the? Because Seinfeld's basically just like he has these thoughts in his head, and they're basically just stating facts, but it's like random facts that are kind of bizarre or stupid, but they're just facts. He's not even like throwing anything crazy to it. Like he's not even exaggerating anything. He's just like, why do babies? Like you basically start like that,
Yeah,
and it's
because I
funny.
think that's how comedy is, right? Like we look at our day-to-day lives, and we just like look at the things that we kind of like do strangely from time to time,
Yeah,
right? Like we
yeah.
know for a fact that um like I don't know, like when you touch something and you feel like, for example, if you touch like something really gross, and you know that it's already gross, but we still have the urge to smell it, and we do smell it. Why do we do that? We know it's already gross, but why do we like? Why do you have to smell it? You don't smell it. Just
You're
wash your
supposed
freaking
to
hands.
not even put it
Like,
near your nose, right?
I know, but I don't know why. Like everybody does that. Like you know it's gross. Don't smell it.
And
Wash your
okay,
hands. But
okay.
everybody does.
What about like compliment? Like I actually brought this up, and I thought like, I don't think we need a whole episode for just to include this in the conversation. But like, how about like a compliment that's like kind of like a low kind of below the belt kind of a shady. It's more of like an I won't say it's an insult, but it's more of like a double meaning statement. Like for example, like I said, you know, if you go to a gasoline station, you say to the gas boy, "Oi, boss, gas." I mean, he's not really your boss, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do you refer to gas as boss? Is that supposed to make him feel better? Like you're calling him boss, and you're the one driving like the SUV, and like, oh, right? I mean,
Because
it's
I
like,
think it's all right. Okay, I get what you're saying,
you know what I'm
but it's so
saying?
much better than calling him Dong. You know what I'm saying?
And
It's
I
better
know,
than calling him Dong.
I know, but
Dong, dong, dong.
it's like they're the ones who usually address you as boss. I'm not saying like I want to be addressed as boss. I'm just saying like usually they were back in the day. That's like how they were. Even the sir, like in Manila, everybody refers to everyone as sir. Uy, sir, paano naman? Oh, salamat, sir. And it's like a tricycle driver. I mean, I'm not saying you should call him sir. Sir is like to address a gentleman. It's not necessarily to address someone of high position. But what I'm saying is, like, for example, uy, guapa, paano be? And the guapa is like this tindera in the palenque with like, missing like, her entire front teeth or something. It's like, uy, guapa, tagay kong discount me. But it's like, I don't know what that is. Are you showing shade at that person? Like, are you calling them guapo when they obviously know that they're not? It's like, but it's like it seems like that's just how it is. Like you're complimenting somebody, but it's actually the opposite of what they truly represent. And are they just supposed to feel? Because how would you feel now?
Well,
Now I
would you
would like
rather be? No, I mean, here's the thing. I think
no. Now I would
um
double think if somebody calls me pogi. I would be like, oh shit. Like,
here's
is
the
he
thing.
Is he
I don't
mocking
think people
me?
like
Like, wait, pogi.
we do that because human nature, we would like to be complimented. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. We would want to be complimented, and I think people don't make a big deal out of it because it's better than actually getting insulted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if
yeah.
somebody calls you pangit, like I mean, would you rather have somebody being too honest with you and like, hey,
No, but I
yeah,
mean, when it's
but
used in an extreme, like a polar situation, like polarizing situation, like for example, like I said, um, like the gasoline boy is referred to as a boss. Like if it's just like a co-employee and you call him boss or something, then that's like you're kind of like on the same. But like it's totally like so contrast. Like it's the total opposite. I'm not saying like call him dong,
I don't think
but
like
like
people like
because
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people didn't like I have never seen somebody um minding it, right? Like I live in in the Philippines,
no,
and
they don't mind it.
I've
They don't
done
mind
that.
it.
They don't mind it. Like so, it's
Filipinos
just
don't
it
mind it
goes without saying that Filipinos like, all right, fine. So it's something that we can just like get away with because it's something that we get, and it's something that we actually do to other people. I get that like from time to time. Like boss, I'm like, all right, then I'll just all right, cool.
because like my
I don't
dad
make
sometimes
something out
does
of it.
that, and I think that all started in Manila because that wasn't like the thing here in Davao before. You know, in Manila, it's like that's how they adjust. They adjust each other. Everybody adjusts each other. Sir, paano naman sir? Like my dad, like whenever we're like, we park somewhere and there's like a car watch boy. My dad always like calls that boy Pogi. Boy Pogi. And like he gives him his tip, like and he's not Pogi, you know what I'm saying? It's like and I don't know how they take it, like because like I said, if somebody like calls me boss or whatever, now it's not necessarily like it might be okay. Hold on, is this person throwing shade at me? I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm not saying it's a big deal. I'm not saying it should be changed. It's part of the culture. It's part of the, but it's just how did that come about? Where like Tisoy, like it's comedy, I guess. Like Ben Tisoy, the comedian. I mean, it's the opposite of him being Tisoy, right? So I guess that explains it. I guess that explains it. It's a part of the Pinoy humor, and I think if used in real life situations, I think people just take it like as a funny thing. They don't even think much about it. But they should then again, if that's the case, that they should just call us kuya and not uncle, right? If it's the opposite of what the person is you are addressing, just call me kuya because I prefer that over uncle. All right. So did we get that girl who was gonna participate? Remember there was this what's her name? Who was pro was she
Right.
Friends or How I Met Your
Yeah.
Mother? Remember her?
Yeah, we lost her because we're supposed to be around last night, but
I know,
we
I know. Who was
postponed.
that chick?
I forgot. Like, what was her name? She promised to show up,
Well, I guess it's
but
good
yeah.
that they're not around because I mean if they're around, this would be like a crazy argument. But we can bring it up again. I mean, because this is this is just the two of us slaying Friends. But at least I don't hate it as much as you do. I can have it on. I've been guilty of
Yeah,
watching
I mean,
Friends,
it's
but
like
not because
here's the
it's
thing.
funny.
I just didn't get it. I just up until I don't get it up to now. Like I don't get it. Like why people watched it and why are some people still watching it in this day and age. Like you have an option to watch. Like all right, my wife, she's watching
Do
it.
you have guy
Why
friends
can't
who
you
like
just
it?
like?
Can you recall like guy friends who like it? I
Nah, I
can't
don't think
recall
so.
guy
I don't think so.
guys don't have time for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
No.
it's
I mean, my guy friends, they probably watch porn. You know what I'm saying?
And I know,
Rather
I
than
know.
watching something that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I know a lot of my friends who are guys who are watching porn all the time. They don't watch anything except porn. Or, I mean, I know from time to time Brooklyn 99. I don't know, some action
Yeah,
movies, whatever.
but for me, Entourage. I haven't encountered a show that I really watched religiously as I did Entourage. Entourage was like for me that they had chemistry, and the cameo appearances of celebrities there. You never know who it made you feel like it gave you like an inside look at the life of
Right.
a male celeb, a Hollywood star, and it's loosely based on the real life situation of Mark Wahlberg when he started in showbiz. He did have his entourage. He was one of the producers, so I guess that's why it was very accurate. And even the restaurants was as is. If they were in a restaurant, it's that restaurant. They acknowledge it as such. If they go shopping at a jewelry shop, it's actually Tiffany's. If they're wearing a watch, actually refer to it as Rolex. So it was like really real life. I mean, if they see Jessica Alba crossing the street, hey Jessica, it's like it really felt like you're just following them. It's like a documentary kind of almost to the point, and that's what I liked about it. But how long did Friends last for? Friends,
I don't know, like, how many seasons did they have?
10, 10 seasons,
10 seasons? Holy
10
shit!
seasons.
Can't believe they
How I
had
Met Your
ten
Mother
seasons.
had 9 seasons. So wow, right? Just like so, it had traction. How I Met Your Mother, but hold on. How I Met Your Mother, people were probably dissing it as like a Friends, trying hard Friends copycat because it came out later, right?
Right.
Friends started when? Hold on, let's check. 1994. Dang, my Friends is old. Friends is old. How I Met Your Mother started in when did it start? I do not know when How I Met Your Mother started, but definitely not 1994.
Pinks, you're already in. Like, why you not? All right, did, did
Okay,
I
finally
send
you'll have
Pinky
somebody
the? Yeah,
defend
I
Friends.
think I sent. I sent Pinky the link. Hang on. I think I sent you the link, Pinks. Hang on. Here it is. Yeah, I think I sent you the link.
Maybe that's the wrong link.
No, it's the right link. It's the same link I sent you, Pinks.
Maybe that's the link to like Jab
It
HD.
is. Right. Yeah, Pinky. I just didn't get it. I didn't get it. I don't get it. I just don't understand why. And it's
Pinky,
just
come
like
on, we
I
need
don't
you.
know.
We need you to defend Friends. I mean, did you watch Friends because it was funny, or did you watch it because it was cool? Be honest. We want honesty, because if I watch Friends, it's because it made me kind of feel like I belonged in a cool crowd, or at least I was watching a bunch of people who, for some reason, just they all look great,
True. All right. Okay.
but they
Mama
weren't funny.
Arlene actually sent a message. Yes, Mama Arlene. We talked about it. It's a sad day. Um, the late and former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe died today from a gunshot from a person who made a who made a homemade who had a homemade shotgun. Right. So yeah, it is sad. Um, yeah. I mean, may he rest in
Did
peace.
they have his? What was the reason why he did it? Did he?
No,
There she
nothing
is.
yet. Like I there's nothing yet on the reports. The problem with Entourage though is that the last season was rushed to make way for the movie. I agree. Also, Vince in the last season was not himself, especially when he married the journalist in a
Hello?
short span of time to only divorce her before the movie started. Hey, Pinks, we can hear you.
Yeah, and the movie was kind of. The movie could have been. Yeah, the movie seemed rushed as well. That's all I could say about Entourage. But the first few seasons, man, it was golden, and I don't know. I just liked it. I mean, it was like it's like if I lived my life on steroids, that's how it would be.
Mm.
I think. Thanks. You there?
Hello, can you hear me? Can people hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay,
We can.
you pick the worst times I to like message me the link. It's raining here in Davao. It's crazy. Is it raining there, Rod?
No. Oh, they just started.
Dude, like rain's super crazy and our internet is
Is it?
shit, so I'm using my data right
I
now.
didn't have internet
So
earlier. I thought I wasn't gonna have internet today again
I
because
know.
PLDT said it was gonna take them 3 days.
Oh crap. Well,
But
yeah.
they I don't know. It worked when I restarted the
Okay,
router. It worked.
you're frozen on my
All right.
screen.
Okay. So, all right. Okay. Quick clippings. Why are you into Friends? I just want to know. Like, what's the reason why you like Friends?
Well, not like really obsessed with it, but it's just for me it's very personal because it was a huge part of my childhood. You know, I grew up as an only child even if I have siblings and basically hanging out with the people from Friends, you know what I mean? Like you're watching it every night. I would sneak and try to watch it at night. I wasn't allowed to because it came out I think in the early 90s and I was like maybe 6, 7 years old then, you know, but I tried to like watch the show. And now that I'm a grown up, I can appreciate it more. It just brings me back, you know, to a
Appreciate what more?
simpler time. What do you mean appreciate what more? Appreciate the
Like the
show more because you know, I was a
right.
kid when I
Like
first
I
saw it.
actually appreciate it less now that I'm a grown up.
Really?
It's less funnier now. Back then it was
Well,
like
okay.
okay,
back then it was
Rod
a
fine.
was
trailblazer.
telling
So it was
me.
like cool.
Rod was telling me it wasn't meant to be funny. Is it
I
true?
think it was. I think. Well, interestingly, Lisa Kudrow commented on how you know she was asked like why it didn't really age that well. A lot of people are saying it didn't age that well. Things that were funny back then apparently turned out not to be so funny, especially in today's climate. And she says, you know, you have to look at it like it's in a time capsule, like it's in a vacuum. Back then, it was funny. You know what I
I
mean?
don't know,
Like,
man. Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
mean
don't know.
Seinfeld was in the 80s. The jokes were like 80s
It's
jokes, but
still
I still
funny.
find it
It's
funny.
still funny.
Yeah, it's still funny up to now. But I watch Friends, I don't really get it. Like I
Why
don't even understand why
not?
people watched it.
It's
Things you
funny.
have to admit
There were
though.
moments.
Things you have to admit. They're not comedians. Those guys are were
They're
not.
not. They're
They're
not.
not comedians.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I agree.
they're
Well,
just
maybe Lisa Kudrow, I think, already had
yeah.
like
Maybe
a
Lisa
start in
Kudrow and
comedy,
Jennifer
and I
Aniston can
think
do funny.
Jennifer Aniston already had
Who
their,
was your
you know,
favorite?
shows.
Who was your favorite?
Man, you know what? Unpopular opinion, but my favorite is Ross. A lot of people say, you know, he's like the worst friend because he's like horrible. I think he had the best scenes. I think he had the best, the most iconic ones, like the Unagi
So there's
scene.
actually like an in group discussion about like who's the worst friend and who's the best friend in terms of their personality or their character on the show. Like that's how nerded out people are about that show.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
who was the
They
worst
think the
friend?
worst.
Ross?
Yeah, they. A lot of people say that Ross is like the worst because I don't know if you remember it. I think they're trying to like you know looking at it the way we look at things now. He was a little bit sexist. He was a little bit homophobic because you remember the nanny episode.
I think it
The
was kind of
nanny episode.
naive. I think it was because he was playing like a naive character. He was a bit wasn't he like a little brother? He was a
Okay,
little brother
Okay, hang on.
of Monica.
Is Ross David Schwimmer?
Yeah.
Yes, he is
It
David
was
I would
Schwimmer.
have
Monica's
to
little
That's
agree with you,
right.
brother.
Rod. I think he was. Yeah, I think his character there was naive, and I didn't like it. He was, and
He's not the
you know, I
little
mean,
brother, Ross. He's the big brother. He's
He's
Monica's
the big
older brother.
brother of Monica?
Yeah, he's
What the
Monica's.
heck?
Yeah, but like Monica's always been the anal one between the two of
Yes.
them, you know. So
Yes, she
she's
would
like the
always rearrange
imposter,
the table. Like, if the
and that
table gets
dynamic.
rearranged, she'd
Yeah,
fix it.
yeah. Remember that episode when Chandler tried to clean up, and he was like so scared because he moved the couch, and Monica would like freak out or something. Yeah, yeah. But I think I like it because it you know I have memories watching it as a kid. It's not that I think it should win a Pulitzer or something for writing or what. I just it just brings it's a comfortable place for me. You know what I mean? Like it's the same way with Seinfeld and Frasier for me. those were the shows that I grew up watching. And you can say all the bad things about Seinfeld or Frasier or Friends, and I'd still defend
No, I
it
can't
because,
say anything bad about those shows because they were really great.
well,
There
I
were
mean,
there were good shows. They
some
were
people,
funny, and I get
some
it when
people,
people say like, "Oh, I like watching it," because all right, I get it. But
yeah,
like
but the thing
Friends,
is,
like
I mean,
Out
I
of the
pretty
out
much
of the friends things, who was most relatable to you, Monica?
the most relatable. Look,
Like
they're white
the one you can
people
associate
in New
yourself
York
with,
City. I could not relate to anyone of them.
because it's more of
um,
like, I mean, who was for you was like, you sympathize more with,
oh,
if
sympathize
any.
more with. I don't know, man. I think it's a combination of all of them because Monica's running, Rachel is a klutz, Phoebe is just crazy. I think there's a lot of things that you like individually. I see Ice like shaking his head. I'm not telling you to like it, man. I'm just saying
Yeah,
I like it for what it is.
you know what's wrong with the show? It's like pea brain people entering the bodies of sophisticated people. Like they look sophisticated if you just base it on their looks. If you look at them, like the way they dress, but then if you listen to the conversation and you pay attention to like how they would speak and how they would act in certain situations,
Rod,
it wasn't
Rod,
very
you just
realistic.
described every single person from my university and my post grad university and my other school. That's basically what people are like 90% of the time. You think they're like all these like hoity toity people with like the smarts and the
But they're
looks, but
very
you listen
shallow.
to them. Yeah, they're pretty stupid. So that's, I guess, reflective of human nature. I think that's, well, if you're complaining about that aspect, I think that's basically what life is, and it reflects that. You think someone's got everything so together, and yet their life is an entire
I mean, it's
mess.
like
But
like the character of Joey. It makes me freaking wonder how he can even get hired for a job. I mean, he
I
literally
know.
like.
Well,
I mean,
I
they made him like that stupid. I mean, you can be funny and be maybe not that intellectual of the group, but you can write in lines or make a character.
yeah, like
He just
drama.
like he literally was
Drama
just like he
wasn't the
would walk in
smartest
there and like
guy,
like literally
right? But
like
his character
drama.
was
what
kind of
was
like,
that, grade school? Like some of the
Who?
situations they were in, they were like behaving as if they were like 9 years old. I mean, I'm literally like, hold on, and I only realized that much later, because like when I saw that first when they were showing it on ABC two, because uh, it was like once a week when they were showing that. When I saw it first back then, it seemed all new to me. Like, oh, this is so cool. Like everybody looks great, and it's like the American humor, and it's like they're so you actually look up to them. You actually think that there's some they're guys where like you want to emulate. But then I watched it now, like with on Netflix and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, it's really they and they
It's
themselves know. Like they
if there's one thing that I really can complain about, looking back, they say hindsight's 2020. I think what irritates me about it now, watching it, is the laugh track. I don't know about you, but watching a sitcom
yeah,
or
I
a
hate that.
comedy with like a laugh track just makes me cringe.
right.
I
Yeah, that's what
realized
I've
that
been telling Rod. They
Seinfeld
have that
didn't have
laugh
a laugh
track,
track,
that laugh
right?
recording. They would play it every time, like
Seinfeld
they'd
didn't
play it.
have
I'd be
one,
like,
right?
"What the heck? Why did they play it? Why was the laugh track on? That wasn't funny."
I know, I know. Will and Grace did the show live, so the laughter that you hear is actually basically real people, right? But I think Friends actually shot. I don't know if they shot live, but
I know.
that kind of
Well,
irks me right now watching it. Like whenever it's always okay. Eyes. Another thing why people seem to like kind of like it kind of grows on people is how it's everywhere. Have you ever checked in at a hotel and it's just playing somewhere? It's just it's everywhere, man. It's hard to avoid it even now. Cause like I think it's on cable. I'm sure it's on cable. It's on Netflix. So it's I don't know. And of course, there's also I think why it's so popular now is basically because of the hype. You know how people are trying to dress like they're in the 90s and they're trying to there's this whole 90s kid phenomenon thing and people are trying to live off of its nostalgia. I think that's why, it's making such a big comeback. And the funny thing is, a lot of new people, new generation, because
mhm.
boy, the new generation is discovering it for the first time. So that's why it never really kind of dies. You know, like I was right. I was telling how like Friends is getting like some sort of resurgence because of the whole '90s kid thing. You know, people are trying to dress up like it's the '90s.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I
I
think
said
that's I think
that's
that's
what I was saying.
yeah,
Like, it's it. People watch it not because it was funny. I think it was mainly because like it
yeah. It's the
introduced so many things: the
nostalgia factor.
fashion,
Yeah,
the trends and all. There were trendsetters. The hair. I
yeah. The
mean,
Rachel,
yeah, the Rachel. But
which
here's the
she
thing. Let
hated,
me
by the
ask you.
way.
What about How I Met Your Mother? Did you even watch that? Did you even follow
Yes,
that
I
at all?
did. I did. I don't know. It just there's something about that group of people that just did not click with me. I like the character Robin.
They were like the Canadian cousins, huh? Friends.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yung mga
exactly. I
taga-bukid,
like
the taga-bukid cousins. Because like, that's what I was
I
telling
like
Ice. Colby was drinking beer.
yeah,
Ted
it's
Mosby's you couldn't even get his tie on properly. They all
oh
look
someone
disheveled.
someone posted like on Reddit. I follow like both there's a Reddit account for How I Met Your Mother and a Reddit account for Friends. They're mostly fan controlled accounts, but somebody noted how like How I Met Your Mother is Friends but in a bar. You know, like how
How
Friends,
about
the people from Friends
friend? What?
hang out at
What?
a coffee shop. Friends, well, How I Met Your Mother would be is basically Friends if it's set in a bar.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
Because
know,
except in a
like
bar. Okay,
yeah,
instead
people
of a
take it
coffee
as an
shop.
Friends is in a
insult.
coffee shop.
Like, okay, I know like Friends is like sort of an icon for some people, but then I would say like I would take like as a fan of How I Met Your Mother, I would take it as an insult because who would you match? Okay, Ted Mosby's not the funniest guy, right? But at least he plays the character well. And I mean, you look at these guys, right? Like, you have Barney. Barney plays his character well. He's really funny, right? And Allison Hannigan, right? She's a funny woman. Jason Segel.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like if you look at it like a basketball game, right? I mean, who do you put against Jason Segel? Like really? Like what? Ross? No, I don't think so. Not even Chandler. I don't think he's as funny as Barney or as Jason Segel. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I'm watching the show because it makes me laugh. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, like I was asking you, and you were saying like, well, it's just supposed to be on the background. It's not. It's not like it's funny, but I just it's comfortable for it to be on the
Okay, I
background.
have
So
a
I'm just like,
question. Why is Friends not funny for you? Why isn't it funny for you?
For me,
it's
Why?
not.
No, 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 Ice. Since he's so appalled at the idea of Friends.
It's not. I mean, it's not just funny. Like their punchlines are not. They're not funny at all. Like I
You
tried
know
watching
what?
it. I would sit down and I'm like, it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ice,
what was
Ice.
what was that laugh track about? Like they have the laugh track, like going. And like, what was that about? Right? And I
Well,
like I like shows, and that's why I asked her like, do you find it funny? And he's like, well, it's not supposed to be funny. So that's why I was asking you, is it supposed to be funny or is it supposed to be just to be cool? Well, did you find it
well,
funny? Actually, like,
I
did you
found
find
it
it
funny,
funny?
but the thing is, Ice, that's how humor works. Things can be funny for you and not funny for someone, and
I
vice
know.
versa.
I get that.
No,
I get that. Like,
I watched,
like,
dude, I watched
what's
How I
funny
Met
for
Your
me might not
Mother,
be funny for other
and
people.
it
But
was
it's just
a
I just
freaking
don't get it.
struggle. Like Ted Mosby is the dullest character ever written. I think
Why I
it's
hate
like
Ted Mosby, but Barney makes it
he's
bearable.
the
Barney and
star.
Jason
He's
Segel.
the star. You know what I mean? Like, okay, here's the thing. There are moments that I just wanted to gut punch Joey because he was too stupid, but you have other characters to fall back on. Like,
Like who? Ross?
um,
Chandler?
yeah, Ross is funny, or Chandler
Monica?
is funny. Chandler is not funny for you. He's like the king of sarcasm, man. But yeah, I mean, with How I Met Your Mother, I honestly felt like it was a kind of like too familiar, like the dynamics that they had. And what about that freaking ending, man? Aren't you even disappointed?
Okay,
I watched the
okay,
whole
I agree
thing.
with you. All right, because I stopped watching up to like if they had 9 seasons, I
There,
probably stopped
there.
watching after season
See,
7.
Rod,
So I
that's
wasn't
the
able to
problem.
watch
With
8 and
How I Met
9
Your Mother,
because
you
of
can
internet
afford
reasons.
to
And I
stop
heard like,
watching.
yeah,
But with
but
Friends, a lot of people who watch Friends couldn't stop watching, no matter how
yeah.
horrible it seems,
I
because
think the thing
it's
with
an
Friends,
experience.
I did.
I
I
think
did.
the
I
thing with
just
Friends
watched.
was that the shtick got old
I
real
stopped
quick.
watching after five
It did.
minutes. I'm like, all
No,
right, I'm
no.
just gonna,
Here's the
I'm
thing:
gonna
the
stop
stick got
watching.
old real quick, so it became very predictable. Like Phoebe's gonna sing a stupid song in the coffee shop. Rachel's gonna end up complaining about her dad and whatever because
Or
she has
Ross
money, but
about
she
their
has to get a.
breakup. Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
became very predictable, but those who got used to it, those who accepted that fact, that's when it wasn't funny anymore. Like maybe early on, like the first couple of seasons, it introduced something different because usually when you watch a sitcom, usually it's like a family or usually it's like kind of like an odd like it's comedians basically just exchanging punchlines. But this one was different. This was like a bunch of cool looking people who could easily be in like a Melrose Place kind of show, but they made it a sitcom. And I think it was the first of its kind where you actually have good looking people who actually dress sharp, who actually, you
Well,
know,
you bring
actually
that up,
have a
Rob.
show that's supposed to be funny.
The funny thing is, a lot of people are saying that How I Met Your Mother is a copy of Friends, and Friends is the original. But I mean, I'm a Friends fan. Don't get me wrong, but they didn't invent the idea. You know what I mean? Like a couple of years earlier, there was a show called Living Single. I don't know if you remember that. It had
No,
Queen Latifah.
no,
It's
never heard of
a,
it.
it's Rod. It's basically Friends. Six friends
Really?
living really close by
That who starred in it?
to Queen Latifah. It was a group of like six friends. They were all black,
Oh,
and
American TV wasn't ready for a black female
that's
black
what
lead
they
yet.
were saying. That's what they said. And I think it's when like I think Friends came out in '94, and I think Living Single. I don't know. You have to Google it. I think maybe '92 or '93, and it was a lot of people now say that Friends wasn't the original, in fact, and it was a copy of Living Single. Only they're Caucasian. So there, that's an argument for you. Friends is not original, unlike what a lot of people are saying. Iceman is just so disappointed that somebody else likes Friends.
No, 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 no. Like I'm not. Because my wife likes it. My wife loves it, and I know a lot of
So
people. A lot of my
Pinky
friends
Raj
like it.
likes Friends. He likes Friends.
All right,
oh,
but here's
So I
the. It's
think
but it's just one
if
of
it's
those
in line
things.
with your personality, maybe you'd like it.
All right, yeah. I
I
just
think a
don't
lot
get
of
it. It's
kids
I.
who
A lot
grew
of
up
people like it.
either
Hmm.
in this. I'm sorry, Ice. I think a lot of kids who grew up influenced by American culture tend to gravitate towards it because it's it gives you that pop of Americana, if that makes sense. Like you see them drinking coffee like Americans, having Cheerio for
I
breakfast.
get that. If they're saying like, well, yeah, I'm watching it because they're doing, like cool stuff, and that's
Yeah.
fine. Because
Where
what I
did
don't
Rod
get is,
go?
I mean, this is one of those things, right? So this friends thing and this Big Brother thing that I don't get, right?
Oh,
Like Big Brother.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I
I'm
I
like,
don't
why
understand the
are
point
people
of Big
watching
Oh,
Brother.
that
this?
Big Brother
It's
crap, that's
it's
stupid.
Yeah, all right. So
voyeurism at its worst.
I would have to
It's
say that I
worse.
hate the Pinoy Big Brother more or Big Brother more than Friends, but it's just one of those things. It's like it has that same like that I
Ooh.
mean same feeling. I just don't
You
get
know
it.
what I
Like
also
why a
never
lot of
really
people watch it.
tolerated? Survivor. Did you guys watch that? That was really
No, no,
big
I
back in the
wasn't a
day.
fan. That
Survivor was
okay,
like
let's
crazy
put that on the
popular.
list. Survivor, even
Yeah,
Lost, even
Survivor.
Lost. I mean, I don't know if you're a
Yeah, I
Lost fan,
also
but
didn't
even Lost,
watch
I was
Lost.
like, wow. I mean,
Dude,
what's
I
up with
got lost
Lost?
watching Lost. I didn't get.
I
I was like,
know that's what I'm saying.
what the hell is
Why are
this
people
shit?
watching it to get lost? Is that the
I got
reason why you're
lost
watching it to
watching
get
Lost,
lost?
and it became so popular, and I just like I was
It
never a
was about
fan.
like
I
okay,
don't
I will
get it.
put it on the list.
Um,
Friends, Pinoy Big Brother,
What list?
Survivor,
What list?
Lost. No, I mean the things that I don't get. Like
Oh,
why?
you don't get. Okay. Did
Yeah,
you
like I
ever
don't
get
get it.
into
Why
Game of
people like
Thrones?
it? I
what?
love Game of Thrones.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
I love it.
Game of
Oh
Thrones.
yeah,
Because it's
Game
it's
of
also
Thrones,
pretty dip.
Walking Dead, you name it. But like I kind of like after three, usually it's like 3 seasons max for me, and it starts to just like get all convoluted, and they introduce too many characters,
How
and they
about
kill off
Witcher?
the
Do you
characters
guys
that you
watch The
love.
Witcher?
That's it for me. I'm out of here.
The
Like
Witcher.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah. The Witcher's fine with me. I yeah, right. The Witcher. What else?
What else is
House.
kind of fun?
House. I mean,
Bridgerton.
House.
Do you guys
House is
watch
House is
Bridgerton?
great.
Why are you even playing it?
Do you guys watch
So it's
Bridgerton?
You watch
what?
what?
Bridgerton?
Bridgerton? No, my
Yeah,
sisters
Sorry.
do in the States.
it's
They watch
very
that.
girly though, so I
Hang on. What's
understand
what's
you guys
what's Bridgerton?
skipping.
Is it sort of
Like
like the
royalty,
Uh,
British royalty crap.
yeah, it's
all
like
right? So it's
a show set during the Regency era period. I think
so
Regency
it's
England.
like
I'm not sure if that's the right time period,
what was
but
that first show before The Crown? There was that show.
Downton
It's
Abbey?
like
Downton
Downton
Abbey.
Abbey. It's the
I
same as
also
Downton
really
Abbey.
like Downton Abbey.
I like
No,
Downton Abbey.
well, um, Bridgerton is earlier. I think Downton was
All
very
right.
much
So it
already
has
in
the
the
same premise.
1900s.
Bridgerton and Downton Abbey. Is it like similar? Like the storyline?
Um, no, not really. Oh well, there are some similarities. They are both set in the UK, so there's bound to be
All
similarities,
right.
but
Okay.
completely different premise. I think. I hope. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I see. You should. Yeah, I. Another thing that disappointed me with How I Met Your Mother is the ending. I
All
just
right. I
when I
wouldn't
was
argue
starting
with you on that because
to
yeah,
root
I
for
heard that, and
okay, they
even
did Robin
when
dirty
the
and
mom
they did
already showed up, I kind of
Arnie
this is
dirty.
not as good as before.
Yeah. I mean, they could have,
When
I
the
don't
mom
know,
showed
maybe
up, when the mom
when
was
the
in
mom
like the
showed up.
story,
The thing is, the
just kind of
mom
like
showed up. Oh, see, I tried to watch it. I really did try to watch it. But when the mom showed up, you kind of have this like picture of this woman who would beat out Robin. You know what I mean? Like
I
you
know
would
that's what
you
I'm
would root
saying. All
for
right,
her.
I'm with you
You
on
would root
that.
for her.
I'm with you
But
on
then,
that.
I mean,
Leading
nothing
up to
against
that,
the
I was
actress because
fine.
I think she's pretty great actually as that at that in that particular role as that particular person, but the character, I don't know, man, it's just I'm not convinced. I feel like there's too much history between Robbie and Robin and Ted. Robbie, who's Robbie? But yeah, I don't know, I was a little bit disappointed. I think that's one of the factors why I'm not a fan of the show, not as much as Friends or whatnot. Yeah, how about Ang Provinciano, guys? Do you guys watch that?
The what?
Ang Provinciano.
If it's Fernando Poe Jr., I would
Provinciano?
watch it.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody else, I'm not gonna watch it. If it's
Provinciano?
FPJ, I would
that
surely
that
watch it.
show has been on for what seems like forever. I don't know about
But if
you.
it's
It
Coco
seems like
Martin, no,
Dude, that's banned
no
in my
thanks.
house.
there's another show that my niece used to watch like in the afternoons, where there's like this teenager. It was I think on ABS CBN. There's like this teenager couple and they were like sisters and they were fighting and it was super dramatic. I forgot the title. A couple of years back, before pandemic,
Ana
it was
Karenina?
really, no, 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 no. I was really, really big. Somebody help me out.
Is
Somebody,
this is this Filipino?
yeah, it's Filipino. It was really, really popular
If
too. I
it's
remember
Filipino,
people were like
I don't
They're
buy it.
talking about
sisters
it.
and they were fighting?
I
I'm
don't know if they were
racist.
sisters, but
If
I
it's
think it's about
Filipino, I
like
don't watch it.
two
I know we're
teenagers.
racist.
Yeah, well,
I'm not
I
feeling
wouldn't go as
racist.
far as racist. I'm just not a fan
Racist
of
to my
like
own kind.
Filipino TV shows.
No, man, we're
Yeah,
not we're not we're not we're not racist. We're just
we're just
we just
picky.
we just don't like mediocre stuff. I mean, it's nothing to do with Filipino. It's
I feel like I'm one of those
you
guys.
cannot
Do you guys watch
right?
Key and Peele?
What?
Yeah,
Oh
well,
yeah,
back
yeah.
then,
Just speaking
yeah.
of, I
All
love
right, like
KP.
do
Are
you
you
watch
kidding
their
me?
sketches?
Like
Right.
my
All
son
right.
and I
So
do marathons of that on YouTube. Like
Key and
once you
Peele, right?
watch
I
one
feel
clip, you
like
can't stop
I
it.
saw
Remember
this
that
this
country
this
song
particular
that's racist?
sketch. Yeah, I know that country song that's
It's
racist.
freaking
Okay,
hilarious.
there's this particular sketch that I kind of like relate to. Like that you're that one black guy in the freaking Glee Club or whatever, and there's this other black guy joining, and you'd be like, all right. So I feel like that. Like I want to be the only Filipino in a group of like foreigners. You know what I'm saying? If there's another Filipino, I feel like, holy crap, what is this guy doing here? Now there's two of us.
Oh,
I
you're a
feel like
snob.
I feel that way. I'm like, now there's two of us. Holy shit! Like, so
Wait,
I just
do
want to be
you
the only Filipino
okay,
in the group.
out of curiosity, guys, do you actually have Filipino friends in Japan, or do you like keep your circle Filipino free? So it's just you and your
Um,
wife and
okay. No, I know. Okay, here's the thing. What are you talking about? Like, do I? I mean,
no, like
okay.
okay, it's a Saturday
Rephrase the
night,
question because I don't
slow
get it.
night.
Like, do
Okay, okay, I'm gonna give you a for instance. So okay, for example, it's like a Friday night, Saturday night, you're gonna go chill with your friends at the bar or a pizza place.
No, I
Who
don't.
do you
If
bring
you're
with you?
no, I
Do you have
don't.
like
I
Filipino
don't.
friends?
No,
You
I don't.
don't?
No, I
Don't you
don't.
miss like? Oh man, it
Don't
used to
don't
drive
you
me
look at my
nuts.
pictures? Don't you look at my pictures?
I'm never on
Don't you look at my
Facebook, so there's
posts?
that.
Every time I post something that's bar related, it's usually with, like with foreigners. I mean, not my kind. You know
Really?
what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, why? Are you allergic to Filipinos?
see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, I've been asked that question. Like, do you feel like you're better than these guys? Like, Phil asked
Yes.
me that question. I was like,
One one
hey,
one will
Phil, no,
assume that's how you
I don't
felt.
feel that way. But here's the thing: I haven't met somebody who has the same wavelength as, like as me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't met that person yet. Like,
Genius.
I'm being serious here. Like, if I
Yeah,
meet
yeah, I
somebody
get
who's
that. I
like
get that. I
probably
get
like you or Rod or
that. Yeah.
Yoda, I'm not saying I'm better than. But it's just like we have nothing to talk about.
I
Because
remember
basically, we have
I
nothing to talk about.
I remember like back when you were still a DJ, we talked about this during a show that you would be like, picky when it comes to your friends because you have to click with whoever you chose as your friends. And I get that.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
understand that. Yeah. So he's not being a snob. He's just being very careful because he doesn't want to waste
I go to
time on
Filipino
people he
parties.
doesn't
All
want
right,
to
don't
talk
get me wrong.
to.
I go to Filipino parties. I see them from time to time. I talk to them, but I do not hang out with them. In terms of what you're
True.
saying, like, oh, text them and like, hey, let's go out and like let's go to a bar, let's go to a Halloween party,
I
let's do a
remember
barbecue or
you have
something. Like, I don't do
you have
that.
like German friends, like you're like German friends, American friends. Those are the people that you hang out with there in Japan.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have like I have American friends. I have like, but these okay. When I say American friends and UK friends, like they're of different colors. All right, not just white
Right.
people.
They're
Like
not just
they're like of
Asians.
different
Yeah, yeah. It's not about
like
that.
they're like Mexican Americans
Mm.
or Indian uh, in okay, British of Indian descent or
You have
something like.
Canadian friends there, like Canadian as well.
Yeah, I have
You have
Canadian friends
Canadian
who are
teachers,
actually
right?
of Brazilian descent. Like they're, so it's like it's kind of diverse, but it's just like because I click with these guys because
I
we
think
have something to talk about.
I think what's missing with like I get what you mean. I really really do. Like I think what's missing is the width. That's what you're looking for,
Okay,
like
I do have a friend. I do have a friend, MJ. MJ is like my friend, like my wife's friend as well. So the one that you
mm,
constantly see on my pictures, like we would go to Nagoya and see him, and because we have something in common. Because I've known him from back then. He's from Ateneo as well, and um, I've met him before I came here, so we have plenty of things to talk about. There's so many people that we know. Like like we have so many common friends, and when we talk about stuff, it's like it's relatable because you know what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
if I talk about something, he would know about it because for some reason he has somebody who knows that someone. So I
Is it
have that friend. All right.
is it the Filipino humor that's hard to yeah, because sometimes I get that. I understand what you mean. Like
No, because with MJ, we act like if we're talking in Bisaya or Tagalog,
no,
it's
not
we do
MJ,
that and
like
we're
the other Pinoy.
and we're funny and
Well,
I don't know.
for me, it's
Here's the
the
thing, Tins.
stubbornness of Pinoys. There's some Pinoys that's too stubborn. Like it's stubborn where they're very like they would be close minded. The close mindedness is the one that gets to me.
No,
Like
no, okay,
like my
all right,
wifey would
okay.
like she went to the States, right? And she would have like relatives there. The first place they would bring her to is like Jollibee, and she's like,
What the
I want to
fuck?
eat. I want to eat American. I'm in the States. We have literally. It's like, come on, people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, I have nothing against Jollibee. I get it. It's like, but it's not even Pinoy food. It's American food. It's just Pinoy owned. Fried chicken, spaghetti.
Spaghetti,
I mean, what's Pinoy about
fries,
that? The only thing
burgers,
that they have on their menu that's Pinoy is the palabok, burger,
palabok.
steak. I mean, come on, they didn't even call it beefsteak. They call it burger. I mean, what do you and you all saying that? Oh, you're not. If you eat at McDonald's, you got to eat a Jollibee because it's not even. I mean, it's yes, it's Pinoy owned, but it's not like Pinoy food. It's not a
For me, what
representation of our cuisine. But anyways,
for me
my only thing is like if they're close minded, like they don't go to certain places. Que tugnaw, they don't go to certain. I mean, it's like you try, you're there. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, that's right.
you think
That's what I was
Americans are
gonna say.
going. Why would Americans come here? I'm sure they're thinking it's also hot, but they're
You know
here and they're like taking a chance. I mean, they're
why
open
I
minded
didn't
enough.
make as many friends also. Well, I was the only Pinoy, I think, in my program, so I didn't really have that many Pinoy friends as well. But there were other Filipinos in the area, but I just didn't befriend a lot any actually because we're very clicky. You know, Filipinos are very clicky, and that's what I was gonna say that, Rod. Like sometimes Filipinos are afraid to experience living abroad, even if they are living abroad. So it's kind of like they have this limited sense to where they are,
Yeah, because
and
you guys are
it's
different. Like Ice didn't wasn't born and raised in the States. You weren't born and raised in the States. You lived abroad both. I mean, yeah, I lived abroad. Yeah, I wasn't born and raised in the States, but I kind of grew up a little bit in the States. So, I you can, if I think a certain way or relate to certain things a certain way, you could probably get it because I went there when I was like 10, 11 years old. But you guys, that's what I don't get about you guys, because you guys are cut from a different cloth. Because you guys think like me, you guys see things the way I see them. Like, and it's sometimes I forget that you guys actually went to the U.S. or abroad or wherever you guys are now at a later stage in your lives. But for some reason, I think it's just how people are. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with, some people are just better at adapting to certain things.
mm,
Some people just find certain things in different cultures that's more relatable to them. Maybe it's your personality. Like that's why when you say, "Oh, I'm Filipino," but I'm not 100% a representation of what 100% Filipino is. There's a lot to me, because when you even when you say Filipino, there is no specific personality to a Filipino. A lot of it is from the Hispanic, traits that we acquired. A lot of it's from the Chinese or wherever, whoever influenced us, or the blood running through our veins. So it's not necessarily like a specific thing. I mean, the basics, yeah, you respect for elders and whatever, but it doesn't mean, if you're not, doesn't mean you're not Filipino. I mean, by citizenship, you're still Filipino, but by birth, you're still Filipino. But what I just don't get is, there are a lot of Filipinos that travel, and I get it, maybe if they're OFWs and they're just forced to work abroad because they need money to, provide for their family, and they really don't want to be in the Middle East, or they don't really want to be in a winter country. I get it, because it's like a necessity. It's not like a choice that they made where, if they had their choice, they wouldn't go there. But
yeah,
for those who actually go on vacations and stuff, for those who actually decide to migrate, and then they're there and they're like, they literally can't even, they can't find, they refuse to find anything that they can relate to in a foreign environment,
right, right. They're
right?
still like very trapped in their
They don't want to
mindset.
eat that cheese because it tastes
Yes,
like that, but they've never tried it. They don't want to, like, I don't want to eat that because it's luod man. I mean, I'm like, what? You think other people don't think our food is luod too? I mean, you know what I'm saying? There are also people out there that look at Filipino food and they probably get grossed out. You think bopis is the most delectable thing in the world? You think sisig with the pig face is the most delectable? No. And 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 that, yet you're in the position to say that Korean food looks gross because it's like fermented cabbage. I'm just saying,
ooh,
I
That's
I
don't.
kind
have
of
you
You
had
don't
weird.
have to
natto?
like
Have
it,
you had
but at
natto
least
ice?
try it. You know?
Yeah, yeah, I eat natto. I like natto.
Good.
Yeah.
Speaking of gross food, Rod, is it good? Ice?
Natto.
Yeah,
Natto, like
Uh,
yeah, it's
it's
great. It's
good.
very
good.
healthy
It's
too.
like,
I
it's
eat
just
that
like,
for breakfast
it doesn't have that
sometimes,
sticky
and we
thing
have
on
that
it.
in school. I remember people were trying to scare me with that, like that. Not just
Yeah,
Filipinos, but a lot of Westerners too. Like, oh, I hate natto. I'm like, what's that?
dude, I
Soybeans
tried
or
it.
whatever.
Dude, I tried
And
it.
It's
so,
It
not for
didn't even
me.
have a taste. What is not
yeah, I
likable
mean,
about it?
it's
I
not
don't
for
get it.
everybody.
I think it's
It's
I
not
think
for
it's the
everybody.
texture mostly. I think it's the gooiness of it.
It's
It's
just like
like
nougat. I mean, it's like eating a chocolate bar with like nougat in it. It's just like eating
it kind of,
tira tira or something.
you kind of like bite into it thinking it would taste like Rice Krispies, and it didn't. I think I think
No,
that
I
was
kind of
the
like got the hang of it now. Like I know what it tastes like,
really.
so like I'm just okay with it. But the very first time I ate it, like my Japanese friend called me and like, how was it? They were making a big deal out of it. It was like, yeah, it was fine. I ate it. Like, really? You don't hate it? Like, no, I don't. Like, I heard a lot of people telling me that it's disgusting, and I mean, it's gross. It smells
I mean, I
bad.
would
But it was like,
understand if they
no.
think our bagoong is gross, because truth be told,
That's
uh,
literally fermented
like
like
bulad and
fish, right?
bagoong
Like fresh
literally
fish.
smells like dead rat. Like if you have a dead rat in your house for days, you smell it. It smells like bulad. I'm not even kidding. It smells like bulad. I mean, if there's like a dead rat under your stairs or something, and it smells. It's this exact same smell, and maybe because bulad is also dead fish. It's the same thing. It's a dead animal, so obviously it's gonna smell like that.
But yeah,
But what I'm saying, but okay, what's that thing? What's that thing that they spread on in Australia and also in
Vegemite,
the
Marmite,
Vegemite.
Vegemite,
yeah,
Vegemite.
Vegemite and
Yeah,
Marmite. Yeah, Marmite's the one in UK, right? Vegemite is
I
the
think
Australian one.
yeah.
is it
Vegemite is
is it
Australian one.
Yeah.
Vegemite.
So
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
really
We
interested.
have
Like, I really want to try that. Like, I want to know because people say like it's either you
I
love it or you hate it. Have you
well, a
tried
lot
it,
of people
Pink?
say it's
yeah, I
disgusting.
tried it. It's very salty. It's like it reminds me of toyo. I liked it. It's good on toast.
Oh, it's salty. It's like it's almost
It's
like alamang.
it's like no. It's salty. Is how I would describe it. It reminds me literally of toyo,
Okay,
but
I
it's
think I get what
surprisingly
you're trying
good
to.
with bread.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody clear that up for me. But I think I tried the Vegemite though, not the Marmite. So that could be a different thing. But I think they're pretty similar.
Yeah, I think they're
But yeah.
similar.
Also, bros
Okay.
food
So
licorice.
you
Have you
didn't
guys
mind
had
it,
licorice? No, I didn't mind Marmite or well Vegemite. You haven't
like
tried it?
no, I haven't tried it.
Oh,
Like
you
like
should.
ice.
So
Ice
good.
is more of like ice. Ice. Do you drink coffee?
Now I do drink coffee 1 cup a day.
But
But you're a tea
you don't
guy.
drink ice.
I'm
Ice
a
is
tea
a
guy.
tea guy.
I just started
I
drinking tea. I think like a year ago, but I'm more. But I keep it to 1 cup a day. I never go beyond 1 cup.
But
And
you're the one who doesn't drink at all, right? Ice? Like
yeah, I
no
don't drink coffee
alcoholic.
at all
Okay, cool,
before.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
I know
No, no.
alcoholic. Yeah, I never drink alcohol.
Okay,
I
cool.
never
Yeah,
did.
I thought I was imagining somebody else, thinking about
No,
somebody else. But yeah,
yeah, that's
no,
me.
he
it's
was
I
the
don't
only
just
he
drink
was the only one who
alcohol
didn't drink in the group. He was the only one.
and coffee
right,
as well.
right.
But I started drinking coffee last year for some reason. I
So
forgot what the reason was, but I started
how
drinking
did
coffee.
how did you like coffee the first time you tried it? Did you like it or hate it? Like the taste?
All right, I mean, well, I mean, I've tried coffee before. I mean,
Oh, I thought it was like
when
your
I was
first
with Killer
time you ever
Bee,
had
like, no,
it.
I mean, no. Like, I just don't drink it religiously like most people. Like, they'd be
Mm,
craving for it. Like, oh, I need
yeah, it's
caffeine or
like a
whatever,
daily
right?
thing. Mm.
Like, I've had coffee before, but it's like, it's not a big deal. It's like, all right, cool. I mean, nothing special. I never got addicted to it. But for some reason from last year, I kind of like, I don't know if it's true, but it kind of like pumps me up a bit. So I always get coffee in the middle of like no in the middle of the morning, right? So around like when we have our 20-minute break, I try to get my coffee there so that I won't fall asleep um in the succeeding periods that I'm going to teach in the morning, like the third and fourth period. Because sometimes I get so sleepy because we don't do a lot of things these days because we're like sort of in the support mode. So from time to
Mm.
time, you just be standing somewhere. You're just going around, trying to help kids and whatever. So you're a support teacher, and you can get really sleepy at times. So I really try to like get my caffeine shot, like in uh, during the break in the morning, which is like around 10:15.
But
There
like
was a
between
time when
coffee,
there was a time when
sorry,
Ice
between
was really into
oh,
coffee though.
what the
Like I
hell was that?
remember when you came home once, you were like into. I mean, no, you were into tea, and I
No,
there was
I'm
a
still
time when I
into tea.
really
Like
I know,
I
but
So
drink
coffee
my
or tea? You
coffee in the
would
morning, but I drink
okay,
tea
between coffee and
all
tea,
day.
which
yeah.
one
That's
which
my
would you choose,
question.
Ice? If you could only have
I
one.
would
Between
choose
coffee or
tea.
tea?
Like I'll
Yeah,
choose tea.
see, I really tried liking tea because it's healthier and it's like it has antioxidants and all that stuff. But I can't for the life of me like I can drink it, but I don't enjoy it like I do coffee. And I think there are people who are more tea and some are just like in the Brits, right? The Brits drink
Yeah.
and Canadians too. They drink tea like it's coffee to them, and I can never enjoy a cup of tea unless I put a lot of sugar in it or I flavor it with something. But by itself, it
Do you
it
do
kind of
you do you not put milk in it, Rod? Like
well
black tea?
yeah, that's the thing. Like
No,
the
I never
Brits
put
do that.
milk.
Like
I never put milk. Like
they
if I
put
have
like
black tea, I never put milk in it. I just like
yeah.
Really?
drink
You
See,
it like
Ice
drink it
doesn't put
straight?
milk in it. Like he
Oh
just
wow,
drinks
no,
the
I
I
just
tea
like
can't
drink
do
it
tea.
that.
like that, just the tea bag.
I
Like
mean, I like tea. I like
The
black tea, but I can't
straight
do it straight.
tea, English breakfast,
Earl
oh
Grey.
man,
Earl
I get
Grey.
grossed out.
I love
Like
those,
Yeah,
I'll
kind
only
of.
drink it
especially
because it's
green
I can see
tea.
that.
healthy, but I'll never drink it for the taste. Like coffee, I can drink it for the taste and the effect, but not black. I guess it's the same thing. Like between coffee that's black and tea that without the milk or the honey, I guess tea is probably more tolerable because I really don't want to drink coffee like without sugar or cream or anything. It's also nasty. So maybe I
If I
would.
Depends
go
on
home
the.
there now, I would still order the same thing. I would still order full leaf tea. It's the same thing. I just drink coffee because I need it for work. That's why I have 1 cup in the morning. But that's it.
So
On
it's
the
more for like
weekends,
effect,
I
not the
don't drink
taste.
it.
So it's like
Yeah,
to perk
yeah,
you up,
basically.
not because it's
Yeah,
yummy for
But
you.
doesn't
and I
doesn't
don't
tea
even
do that to you, Ice? Doesn't it perk you up as well? Doesn't it have caffeine as well?
Baka
I don't
immune na
feel it. I
there
don't feel
because
it.
he like
Not like
drinks it
coffee,
I
right?
every
don't
Not
day.
feel
like
it.
coffee.
Not like coffee. Now I get it when they say like, "Oh, too much coffee is not good for you," because with tea, like I drink, cups and cups of tea, and I don't feel anything. I fall asleep right after drinking tea,
Yeah, it relaxes you. I guess it relaxes
right?
you.
So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
Oh wow.
So friends, huh?
It's still one of those things that I don't get with
every
Pinoy Big
Yeah,
every
Birds.
it's
single.
coffee or tea, Friends or How I Met Your Mother. I mean, that's just how it is, right?
And I don't diss people who like Friends. I just don't get it. That's the thing.
Oh,
I
Ice
hate it.
9210.
I
Were
hate
you
it.
ever
What?
into it or Melrose Place? 90210 Beverly Hills. Did you watch it?
Okay, here's the thing. Here, okay, I
Yeah,
have
I
to be
did.
honest with you guys. All right, okay. The only reason why I watched those shows back in the day, it's because of Jenny Garth and Melrose Place were like the beautiful ladies there, and I would jerk off like watching those shows.
Oh, I
Wow.
didn't go
Because
that
back in the
far,
dude, like,
but I did.
okay,
But I like Jenny Garth. Like she was the one outside
right,
of
Jenny
Crystal. I
Garth,
mean,
right, dude.
yes, of
You
course.
can't blame me. I don't have a father like yours who has stacks and stacks of Playboy
Yeah, that's
magazines.
right. That's right. Okay,
What do you want
I
me
got
to
it.
do,
I
right?
got it. I
What do
got
you want me to do? I wait for videos or like TV. Even Knots Landing didn't get away from me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
I mean, yeah, I didn't spare Knots Landing. You know what I'm saying? So
Dude, I can only imagine you during
Savannah,
Baywatch. I
dude,
can only imagine you during
Baywatch.
Baywatch.
No, see, here's the thing with Baywatch. Baywatch was kind of like it's like peak, and there are a lot of people like I can't do it because Baywatch was like a hit, and
Baywatch
everybody
involves a
watches it.
lot of running though. There's
I
a
know,
classic
I
there's a
know.
classic station on cable, and it just shows every time I turn it on it's Baywatch, and they're just running around in that skimpy red
Yeah,
swimsuit. And
and they're like,
I
yeah,
think
right, and they're
I think
just like
time
move.
freezes, especially for Pamela Anderson.
I know,
That's
right?
that's I think it's in her
Yeah, I
contract
mean,
that
thank
whenever
God for
she
the
runs,
internet.
it has to be
I
slow
don't have
motion.
to, I don't have to watch these shows anymore.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was a game changer. The internet was a game changer.
another show that kind of like was raunchy was The Nanny. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
supposed to
yeah,
be like a
Nanny.
wholesome
yeah.
Was
It
it?
family
was like
show,
a
but
sex,
it was
sex.
a little bit raunchy. It was a little,
Yeah, but it all dies though once she opens her mouth. Hey,
yeah.
what's
It's like
that?
Mr. Shut. God, that voice. Oh, she's like a foghorn. But I think that's what made it really big. And the theme song. The theme song was really, really iconic. I think that was peak 90s as well. What else was really fun? Like you said last time, Filipinos had a pretty good run too when it comes to sitcoms. Like we had Palibhasa and Abangan ng Susunod na
All
Kabanata. Do you
right,
guys
okay,
remember?
Rod. Just like, okay. Let's go back a little bit to like the TV shows. Like, okay, Savannah. I mean, I just don't. I don't know what like. But I just can't get this this woman out of my head. Like, I really find her hot, but now she's kind of like she's older. She looks really different. But like, check out Jamie Lunar. Like when she was younger, I just like found like she was just very hot during like the the when the TV show Savannah was popular. Do you remember
What even
Savannah?
is Savannah Ice? What's
Savannah, it's a
Savannah?
TV show. It's
Yeah,
like
I think with Jamie Lunar it was her eyes.
right. She was just like, but now you look at her like I don't recall her being blonde because now she's sort of like kind of like
She was
What
she
blonde-ish.
was kind
show
of
even is
wasn't she kind
Savannah?
of like meaty, right?
She was.
Jamie
She
Lunar.
was.
Was she a
Malaman.
redhead? Was she a
I
redhead?
just
She was
got
like
that.
she was like I thought she was a brunette because
No,
in
she
her
was a
character
redhead.
in she's a redhead, like
Yeah, 'cause she
originally.
had like freckles. I remember she
Oh,
had like a little
okay.
bit of
There you
freckles
go.
if they closed up her face. I remember she would have like. And she was also, what other show was she in? Was she in
Melrose
Melrose?
Melrose
Place,
Place.
All My
Yeah,
I think
Children.
she was in
Melrose. That's
Melrose
it. I
Place.
knew it. Melrose. I was like, no, she was in Melrose, and then they had Savannah like later.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hey,
which
crap.
one came
Anyway,
first, Savannah or Melrose?
I
Melrose.
think Melrose Place, then Savannah came later.
Oh, it's the same people who brought 9210. Oh, who produced
Yeah,
9210. So,
spelling.
that's yeah,
Something. Yeah,
Aaron Spelling.
Aaron
Yeah,
Spelling. Aaron
cool.
Spelling. Yeah, he has that trademark. Like it's kind of like that same. And that's kind of like what Friends was. They just turned it into a sitcom. But really, if you look at the cast, it has all the makings of like a Melrose Place or something. And I think that's really what it was, and that was the charm of it, is that became accessible. It was a feel good kind of like a fun thing to watch on a weekend, but it has these
It
sophisticated,
didn't
good
age
looking
well.
people.
Honestly, Friends did not age well. I think that's one of the shows that didn't really that doesn't translate well to
It
the
makes me
standards that we
wonder.
have
It
right
makes me
now.
wonder if they were really friends, like in real life. Like I don't know about those personalities. If they really hung out after.
I think Monica and Jennifer and Courtney are actual friends because I think Jennifer is the godmother of Courtney's
Okay, so
daughter.
the girls, but maybe the
The
guys.
girls are friends because they're always on Instagram. I think the most aloof or like the most like kind of like not too close guy would be Rod, like David Trimmer. He's never in the
Okay.
picture. I think he was in the reunion though, but I think the girls are
I only
closer.
I only remember him from one movie with Salma Hayek. That's like
Yes,
that was the
yes,
only
that's the
thing he ever
only
did on the
film.
big screen, right?
Yeah. That's like the only movie I remember him
Yeah,
like
and
No,
ever
he
being
was
in.
in 7 Days, 7 Nights, I guess.
oh yeah, with Harrison
Harrison
Ford,
Ford.
right?
Harrison
Yeah, yeah,
Ford
yeah, yeah.
and
That's right. That's
he's
right. He was. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it makes me kind of yeah. Yeah, and you're right. You're right. So, anyways,
And
I mean,
I mean, he's the lead, right? Why didn't he make it big? Makes you wonder.
who?
David Trimmer, he was the lead. He was like the first person to be cast out of all the six friends.
Oh, he
He's supposed to be
was.
the lead. Yeah, he's
Wow.
yeah, because he sucked.
the role was actually
Because he
written with him in
sucked.
mind.
That's why.
So you mean like why wasn't he as big in other
Yeah,
roles
I
like in
mean,
the
you would
movies?
think because Jen Aniston had like a break. That was her breakout
No,
role,
because
and she has a
I think
career
the
in
thing with
Hollywood.
David Schwimmer is he looks like a wuss. He doesn't really like. I mean, he has like face is like he kind of looks weird. Like he's
I love
almost
how
like
he
Adam
says hi.
Sandler kind of like, but like
I
he
think
looks wussy. He
that's one
doesn't
thing.
look like he looks wussy. He
Like
looks like a
Brad
mama's
Pitt,
boy. You know.
or like he's not a Tom Cruise kind of guy.
I
Like
mean,
he has his
not that you
charm,
have to
but
be exceptionally
he's
good
not big.
looking, but his appeal is not, it's not like leading man appeal. He
Yeah,
looks like
exactly.
he looks wussy. Like he looks like a
He looks like a
wuss, like
he looks like
like
a
a dork.
friend.
Yeah, he looks like a friend. That's right. He looks
Yeah,
like
he
a
looks like
friend.
a friend, like
Yeah, but then
someone
again,
that you work
but then
with.
again, but then again, if a guy like Michael Cera,
Not big.
if a guy like Michael Cera who still defies logic. I mean, I get Jack Black. I mean, Jack Black is freaking. He's a
Like, yeah,
fireball of an
funny,
energy. He's
right,
Now, come
right.
on,
funny.
don't diss Michael Cera because I like Michael Cera. He is
Well,
funny. Come
you know what?
on,
He's
he
great
is
in Arrested
funny,
Development. Like as George
Dude,
Michael, he was really
dude. Have
good.
you seen Year One? He was so
of
funny
course
in
Oh
I've seen
God,
Year One. What are you talking about?
that went on for a
That was just
long,
so
long
funny.
time. I just wanted it to end watching it, but at the same time, I didn't want to end. Like I don't want it to end because it was really
But
funny.
but I guess humor is really in the eye of the beholder because like I
Yeah, it's
almost
very
everybody I
relative.
know
You
hates
don't
Jim
find him
Carrey.
funny?
Like almost
You don't find him?
everybody I know hates Jim Carrey. Like nobody likes
Me?
like
No,
I
I
like
love
Jim
Jim
Carrey.
Carrey.
I know I
He's
like
fine,
Jim Carrey. My
Oh, Jim
mom
dude.
hates
Carrey is
Jim
also
Carrey.
very
My wife hates
Really?
polarizing.
Jim
What are
Carrey.
you
My
talking
sisters
about?
hate Jim
What are you
Carrey.
talking? What are
They
you
all
talking
hate Jim
about?
Carrey. They all say he's
Oh,
What are you
OA.
talking?
I'm like, that's his charm.
Do you
I wouldn't.
remember that?
I wouldn't say I hate
That's
him.
our own actually straight.
He traumatized
I'm
me as a
freaking
child when he came out of the butt. what movie was that? Ace Ventura when he came out of the
Was that the
hippo's
butt of
butt?
a rhino?
Yeah, a
I
hippo,
think
a
so.
Ventura.
I
rhino, or
think
something.
so.
It was
Oh
Ace
I
God, it
think
was
Ventura.
so. That
awful.
was Ace Ventura. That was funny
That
too.
that
It was
that
And
coming out of.
flipping traumatized me as a child.
and the greeting,
God, that
you
was
know how they
awful.
greeted each other in Africa? Like you have to spit on each other. Like
Oh
so
God, don't make.
the kid he like
That was funny. Oh, it's funny. Are you?
when they stepped out of the freaking tent. They were all like
He
soaked.
was soaked.
And then and then every time they say the word like Shikasho or something, like they have to kneel. Shikasho, they have to kneel. So it's like Shawshank Redemption,
She
Chicago.
would like she would like fake it. She would like do a faint thing. And like, oh, dude, what? Man, come
See,
on, Jim Carrey.
I,
Jim Carrey's a
and
god.
the funny thing is the people I know, the people who I know don't like Jim Carrey are all women. Like my mom, my wife, my sister, they all like don't like
Really?
his humor.
Oh,
They find him
come
annoying. Like
on.
well, I don't know any guy who doesn't like Jim Carrey's humor. I mean, I don't know. He's a
I
good.
thought he was. What's your favorite Jim Carrey movie? Mine is that thing where he was the Truman Show. There you go. That's my favorite Jim
Yeah, but
Carrey
that's
Yeah,
more
movie.
I
drama
like
though.
that. But yeah, but
That
that
was a
was
good movie. That
drama.
was a good
Yeah,
That was
movie. I
that's
drama.
mean,
That
that's
was a
the
good movie. That
only
was
role
drama.
I can tolerate him in. Also, The Mask. I mean,
wait, but what do you
yeah,
mean? What do you mean that's the only role you tolerate? That was the most un-Jim Carrey movie
I
ever.
know, I know.
that's
He
what
didn't
I'm
I
even
mean,
like show
he
his
saying.
took a
teeth or
leap.
went nuts.
He took a
That's
That's what
leap
I'm
doing
saying.
that role, right?
I
Yeah,
Doing
know.
he
that
should have.
movie,
He
it was
should
a
have
leap.
walked away with an
I
That
Oscar.
was
mean,
that
Bruce
could have been
Almighty.
anybody. It didn't have to be Jim Carrey because Jim Carrey is the mask. Jim Carrey is. I mean, even in Liar Liar, he was funny. You know, like when he went to
Yeah,
the
He
yeah,
was
yeah,
store,
yeah.
funny there.
when he was in the
Yeah.
elevator with a big movie.
Yeah.
I mean, and people, I don't know why people like react to like him like being corny or overdoing it. You know, that's always been his style. And I guess because if you watched him before on TV and in Living Color, where it's like a TV series of skits, it's like Saturday Night Live but for black people. And I remember that they used to show that in the early '90s. Jim Carrey was the only white guy in the cast. Jennifer Lopez, by the way, was a dancer on that show before she became famous. And Jim Carrey was already known to do like MC Hammer and like Vanilla Ice. So he was always kind of
Oh
like his
shit!
humor was
Oh,
always
holy
on
shit!
movement. And when people watch him, they're like, I'm corny OA. Like, I mean, it's part of what makes him funny. I mean, that like that showdown. They had that battle with the waiter in Dumb and Dumber. You know, the waiter was like doing the kung
God.
fu shit, and he was doing.
Right.
I mean, it's like freaking what the. Only Jim Carrey can pull that off. He literally is like a rubber face. Like he can
I think he
distort
has.
his.
I think it's the same like polarizing effect as the guy who played the genie, Robin Williams. A lot of people find him. Well, used to say that he was a little bit overacting in certain roles, but I think that's his
Robin Williams
charm.
for me was like more of like a dramatic actor. I think.
Yeah.
Really?
He's
Yeah,
dramatic. He's
he was.
funny,
He
but
was
it's
more
also
drama
like
for me. Like
yeah.
Dead Poet
Because like,
Society. I mean, like I appreciated him in I appreciated him in the movies where wasn't he in Good Will Hunting?
yeah, he
He
was.
was in Good Will
Yeah,
Hunting.
I appreciated him in those
Yeah,
movies. Like
yeah,
even
but in his comedic roles, like Mrs. Doubtfire or what else
not
is
so
there?
much. I haven't even seen Mrs. Doubtfire. But Good Morning
Really?
Vietnam, For Dreams May Come. Was that what it was? For Dreams May
Yeah,
Come.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
Or
that
Dreams
was
May
those,
really
Come.
those
depressing.
were all drama
That's
movies. I mean, he's like
Patch
eh,
Adams.
Patch Adams. Yeah, the one where he was a robot. He was also and
iRobot.
there's one
iRobot.
Was it
where there
iRobot?
was one that was kind of like
Artificial
a
Intelligence?
iRobot.
thriller where he was like a developing photos. Like oh my god, I forgot the title of that one. But yeah, he was like developing photos and he would like check out the negatives and find out like what the story is. The people who would like come and claim their photographs because this was before the digital
Oh,
camera era.
I don't know if you guys remember, just to circle it back to Friends, he actually guested on Friends, Robin Williams. With
Everybody did.
Yeah.
Ralph
Yeah.
Macchio,
Everybody
William
did.
Zabka did, right?
Yeah.
Brad Pitt.
Really? They did? They
Jean
did?
Claude Van Damme. Yeah,
Who?
yeah.
They did. William Zabka was on Friends.
Like really? But it's probably not as
He played the
iconic
role.
as.
Didn't he play the Cobra Kai role? Didn't he play the William Zabka role? Like he was a clown, like he was disguised as a clown or something?
No, this was How I Met Your Mother. What are you
How I Met Your
talking
Mother.
about?
That's what I meant. How I Met Your Mother, not Friends. It's
That's
How I
why I
Met
was
Your
like,
Mother. That's what I
really?
meant.
That's
I
why I
forgot.
love How I Met Your Mother more because of that.
No. They weren't in Friends. They weren't in
He's the
Friends.
real Karate Kid. He
Yes,
was
it's
the
the real
real
Karate Kid.
Karate
That's right.
Kid,
That's right.
not
That's right. It
like
was How I Met
Ralph
Your. That's what I
Macchio
meant. How I
came
Met
in and
Your
was like,
Mother,
"No, that's not the
not
real
Friends.
Karate Kid. Like the real Karate Kid
See,
was
that's why we love
Billy
How I Met Your
Sadka."
Mother.
Julia Roberts was in Friends. All I can say.
Yeah, I think
Who
Bruce
else was in-
Willis too.
Yeah,
Did
Bruce
Bruce Willis
Willis
guest in
Yeah, Bruce
was
Friends?
Willis
in
was in
Friends.
Friends. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
See,
he's a
I remember all
pretty
these
neat
things. I
guy.
just don't
Yeah.
get it.
It was just
Well,
like anyway. Like I
it
said,
is what it is.
But
The
well,
thing
yeah,
is,
Bruce
at the
Willis
end of
also
the
guested in Mad About You.
yeah,
yeah.
Mad
Oh,
About You was
you know
also a
that
fun show.
Bruce Willis is sick, right? He has this like
Yeah,
he
like yeah,
he
you're
has
right
this like
about that.
motor something deficiency
Yeah.
something. He's like he can't move and he can't talk too much or like I don't know. He's very limited movement, very limited.
Aphasia,
It's
right?
almost like Alzheimer's actually.
Oh man.
So yeah, pretty sad. But
Well,
anyway,
okay. Last question for me for
All right,
tonight
okay,
is
all right,
Die
yeah,
Hard
it's
a
12:30
Christmas
anyway.
movie or not?
It
Die Hard.
is, of
Yeah,
course.
is it a
Of course
What are you
it
Christmas
talking
movie?
is.
about?
It's a
See,
Christmas
there, I
movie.
agree. I agree. A lot of people say it isn't, but I feel like it is a Christmas movie. It's one
It's
of
a
the
Christmas
best Christmas
movie.
movies
I mean,
out there.
you
I
know
even
it's a
watched it
Christmas
on
movie.
Christmas.
You know it's a Christmas movie when it gives you the Christmas vibes, like whether it's the music, whether it's the setting, whether it's the
Yeah,
season that supposedly it's
it
supposed to
doesn't
be at.
matter what genre. If it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
like Home Alone.
action or
Home Alone is a
comedy.
Christmas movie.
Yeah,
While You Were
right.
Sleeping, also a Christmas movie.
Yes.
Do you guys remember that film with like Sandra Bullock,
Um.
Bill
Yeah.
Pullman?
I just
Yeah,
watched it. Like I watched it last Christmas.
that's my go-to Christmas movie. I don't know why. It's just
While you're sleeping.
yeah, while you were sleeping. Also,
And
that thing with like all of the British actors on
yeah.
in it.
What
Love
was
Love
Actually,
Actually.
Love
That's
Actually,
Love
right?
that's a good
Actually? Yeah,
movie.
That's
Love Actually.
That is a
very
good movie.
that's a Christmas movie.
That is a
I
good
always
movie.
watch it. I always watch it during December. Like leading up
Yeah,
to Christmas, I watch it.
it just makes you feel warm and fuzzy, even if you're not
Yeah,
British
I
or
love
in the UK.
The Mr. Bean scene. You know, where
Yo,
it's
when
like
he was
taking
like
his
wrapping the
time.
presents, yeah, that was epic. That was epic. That was
Flushes
like
of
peak
flushes.
Mr. Bean.
And Rick from The Walking Dead, right?
I
Yes,
know. I
I
know.
yes.
Yeah,
love
I
That
love
was
that part. I love
okay.
that
Keira
I
part.
feel
Knightley.
like that was a dicky move. Like that was a horrible thing to do.
No, I
He's
mean,
his
he
best
was in
friend.
love. He was in
Yeah, he
love,
was in
man. I
love.
can relate. I didn't think it was a
Really?
dicky move. I think he was in love.
Hold
I
on.
thought that was a little bit mean.
It was a horrible thing to do. What the cards?
Yeah, I mean,
The cards.
he's his best friend's wife.
Yeah,
No,
but
he
but
needed
here's the
you know
thing.
what? He wasn't after the
I think
girl. He just
yeah, I
wanted to
think
let
but
her know. He
yeah,
just wanted to
because
let
I
her
Why
know.
is there a
think the whole
need for her
story
to know
was
that?
I think he even saw the girl first before his best
I
friend.
think yeah, he did. I
But
think so.
yeah, but he
Didn't
just
end
couldn't.
up together. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because he's just like too scared. He was just too in love to talk to her, something like that.
Oh,
And yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
he
Not
yeah,
sold
the
on the
price you
idea.
pay,
And
the
I
price you
never
pay.
Bill Nye being
Yeah.
this
The pop
I
star, the
know.
aging pop
and
star.
Feel it in
And
my
Hugh Grant being the
fingers.
prime minister. I mean, but for some reason in that movie it works out,
It
right?
worked. It clicked.
He
It clicked.
I
worked out like
know.
they're all like
Dude,
for
what are
some
you
reason like
talking
huge.
about? Alan Rickman was married
I
to
know.
I know,
Emma
And
I
that's
Thompson
just a
know.
there,
sad
and
thing because Alan Rickman's
he's
not with
like
us anymore.
Snape, man. I mean, he was able to pull
That's
off a
true.
role where he's convince us that he's not really Snape because I really thought he was Snape.
What do you
But it was
need?
11, so there's that thing.
Hey,
All
hey,
right,
hey, hey,
any
hold on. That's a
Stationary.
Christmas movie, right?
Right.
Well,
yeah,
you remember the bad guy in Die Hard?
yeah, John McClane.
Yeah,
No,
Alan
John McClane was the
Rickman.
guy.
It's
What's his
Alan
name?
Rickman.
Damn it, what's his name? Yeah,
Alan
what's his
Rickman.
name?
I know.
Yeah,
So we
what's
just
the
like,
name?
yeah.
What's his name there?
McGruber.
And I
No,
know.
Gruber.
That's what I was
Gruber.
thinking too. What was his name?
Hans
Is it
Gruber.
Hans
Hans
Gruber.
Gruber.
That's right. Hans
Yeah.
Hans
Gruber. That's
Gruber.
good.
Because
No,
McGruber is the SNL skit. Yes, I get that now. All right.
Hans
Yeah.
Gruber.
Well,
Of
that
course.
was funny.
it's so funny that we all saw that when we were much younger, and it's like you watch it now. It's a pretty violent film.
It is. It's pretty gory. Yeah.
It's quite violent.
Anyway.
But anyways, all right. So what are we going
Dude,
to talk about next episode?
It's like 12 midnight there, right? I mean,
No,
past
it's
midnight.
12:30.
Right?
It's 12:30
shoot.
here. I
Well,
know.
it's
Yeah,
Hang
11:27
on.
what are
Okay.
we going to talk
here.
about next episode?
When is our next episode, though?
Monday. Oh no,
All right. So you have something
tomorrow.
on
What day
Saturday,
is it?
right?
Friday,
Do you have
Saturday.
Yeah,
something on
I think I have
Saturday? Do you have...
something tomorrow.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
has to be
What's
either
that behind you?
Monday
Is that
then.
an air purifier or like
what?
a fan? What's that thing behind
Oh,
you?
it's a fan. It's an electric fan.
Oh, I thought
Just a
it was
fan.
an air purifier. I'm looking for air purifiers. But
No, you know what?
anyway, I
You know what the
digress.
wifey wants? An air fryer. I'm like,
An air fryer,
an air
not
fryer.
a
That's a
You
purifier.
turbo. That's just a turbo broiler repackaged.
Yeah. Well,
air
if you're
fryer.
old
We have it
enough to know
here. We
what
haven't
turbo
used it yet.
broilers are,
You guys use
Really?
it?
You
really the
think
air
so?
fryer?
Yeah, we do. Like we do, but we haven't opened it. We haven't even used it.
It's
I don't know.
great
Like I don't know how to use
for
it.
like making fries.
So you
But
don't
some
need
people say
oil to fry something.
no,
You just
no,
like
it
put the
drips
thing there
out
and
of
just like
it
turn
drips
it
out of
on.
whatever you're cooking. Like the oil kind of like drips away from the food. I think that's why a lot of people are saying
Right.
it's healthy, but then again, some conspiracy theorists say that it's also unhealthy. So it depends what you believe in. Like Friends or How I Met Your Mother. It depends what you like better. And thank you so much, guys, for tonight.
All right, but still, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't think I ever will. But yeah, whatever, right? I mean, to each his own.
I know what to get Ice for Christmas. A box set of Friends.
Dude, I already have it. I already have it. My wife
Well, you
has
don't
it.
have to.
Like a full collection. Like the full collection of Friends.
Yeah, your
She
wife's a
has it on
fan.
DVD.
Oh,
And we
lovely.
have it on Netflix and she watches it. That's why I hate it. Because I constantly like see it from day to day and I don't get it. But anyway, all right, okay. Monday. All right. Thanks a lot for joining us, people.
Yeah, Pinky, join us on
Uh
Monday. All right.
all right, yeah, if
Yeah,
you can. I
here.
mean if you're not busy, right?
What's the topic?
What should we talk
We'll
about?
talk off air. We'll talk off air because people
All
are
right.
asleep by now.
Right
Right.
now,
All right.
we're gonna end up going to bed at 1 a.m.
No, like what? Huh? Oh, off air. Yeah, well, no, it's gonna like take a quick second to decide on what
All right.
the topic will be, I
All right.
suppose.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Okay. So, all right. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks a lot for joining us. This has been the OK Show. Rod, Pinky, and Iceman, and we are out.